Here we go. Any second. Any second.
Any second?
Well, I'm sure. You know, you would think right there, you're live streaming good, health is good, everything's good. Live from downtown Houston, it's Learn to Paint Tuesdays with Ginger Cook. Come on down, Ginger. Sammy, once again, you're taking the controls. What is with you, Bear? Ginger, are you out there somewhere?
I'm out here, John.
There you are.
You guys,
I knew I could find you.
Hello, this is fun, all right? We're just, Learn to Paint Tuesdays is some of my favorite stuff we do on Tuesdays, okay? And if you just happen to be tuning us in because you've never been here before, we're an acrylic painting channel, and we do step-by-step acrylics. I mean, I really try, when I teach people acrylics, I really do explain the whys. In other words, I'm one of these people that does much better if you tell me why I'm doing something, and I'll remember it more. I remember years ago my brother was trying to teach me how to use the computer. You know, they were back in 1990, and he was living with us, and I'd say, well, how do you do this? And he'd say, I told you yesterday. I'm going, yeah, well, this is today.
It's a whole new
what
day.
Does that mean? And he just felt if he just said it louder sometimes. You know how if someone goes to another country and no one understands them, and particularly Americans have this habit of just shouting at the person in English, thinking if they just said it louder, they'd get it.
That doesn't work?
It doesn't work, no. So, and my brother used to think about that with the computer, but I also understand that one of the things that works is repetition. So I say things over and over again, and you may have heard it before, but it doesn't hurt. And also, I don't know what you know and what you don't know, and this is a wide audience of people from really, really
Whoa, wide audience. So you mean they're all big, overweight, wide? I'm just asking. I mean, that's kind of, you don't even know what these people look like.
Is that how your brain works? I mean, it's just...
I'm just listening to your words. You want me to learn.
This is a vast audience.
A vast
audience of different abilities.
I like that.
Different abilities. Somebody's just starting out. Someone else is doing it for years. And why is she telling us that? Everybody knows that. Guess what? Not everybody knows it. And some people knew it yesterday and forgot it today. So we're going to say stuff again. John, if you will be so kind as to scoot down and show the camera what we're painting today. I think you'd be really excited about that. Is this not cool? This is called Cornwall in the Spring. This is actually this was from a photo I found of, you know, pretty much that's the picture, except I reversed the bird, all right, of this beautiful English village. And I love this, and I thought, you know, this is a great one. Last night we talked about the benefit of using a reference. If you tuned in here, I showed you how to paint this tree, all the ways you might make something up and why it's never a great idea. So it takes you much longer. I think I painted this in about 45 minutes today, as opposed to, you know, if you're making it up, then you have to really think about a lot of things. And all you have to do when you're looking at a photograph is decide whether you're leaving it in or leaving it out, okay? Pretty much it.
Your questions are coming up. Where did you get your t-shirt? We love your t-shirt. We want your t-shirt.
Okay, so these t-shirts, I tell you, I could go to a company that they're owned by Amazon. So if you go to Amazon and scroll down to all their little affiliates, you'll see one that says woot.com. Woot. And they keep the same designs. And the day you buy them, they're really inexpensive, and they come with free shipping. But every day they put out a new t-shirt, and they're all done by artists. In fact, as artists, you can submit your own designs to them. Maybe they'll pick one. You could make some money. I've never done that, but you could. So there's certain artists in there, whenever they come out with a t-shirt, I buy the ones that if I got paint on them, they still look okay. Don't you think that's a good idea?
Yeah.
You know, you saw Starry Night last night with the little Cookie Monster. I pick ones that I can get paint all over and it still looks all right. Okay? So it's called woot.com, and you just go into their old archives and start looking for, you know, colorful t-shirts. Honestly, God, they got hundreds of these things. They've got a really cool one with the Cookie Monster kind of slumped over a table with cookies and a glass of milk like he's got a hangover. It's hysterical. I mean, they've got some really cute ones on there. And they're very inexpensive, and they wash really well, and they're true to size, and I like them, and they should give me a plug for this. But I'm happy to, if I have something good, I'll tell you where I got it. So that being said, let's put out some colors. And then I want to invite everybody to subscribe if you're new, and we're going to paint this picture today. It will stay up on YouTube. We're using professional acrylic paints today. We're going to finish this painting. It's going to be, it looks complicated, but I'm going to break it down so it seems relatively easy. So let's see. I'm just going to squirt out a bunch of white. And I'm going to make a suggestion. When you're painting, if you've got a tube of white, put it in front like that, because you're going to use that all the time. You may not know where the other stuff is, but you're using that white. I'd say put it on your easel. Have it kind of separate. going to put a little zinc white here, or you could use mixing white. Someone wrote the other day and said, I don't have zinc white, what can I use? Liquitex makes something called mixing white. There's a couple other companies that make it too, and it's basically half titanium, half zinc. And what is zinc white? It's a transparent white. Now, we as artists have, we have buff titanium, so sort of an off-white, and we have titanium white and mixing white, but oil painters can have as many as 10 different whites. I mean, we got nothing compared to the colors that those guys have got. Okay, so as we go around, we're going to talk about things as I put the colors out. If you like these little labels I've got, you can write us. You don't have to be a member. They come with a full sheet, and I could address 8 labels, and maybe I've got one that's a fuller sheet that I can show you. I don't know. I just sort of pick them all off, something like this, right? And you just peel them off and stick them on your palette, and you buy those on Amazon, but you can ask the template for us, and we'll tell you which one. Those are very handy to have, because after a while you might forget where you are. Now, this is Cad Yellow Light. I don't have a sticker for that. I could have written it out by hand. That is a color you can't mix. I'm going to put that out. I'm also Cad a yellow medium, and you don't have to have the Cad Yellow Light. If you had it, would be nice, but you don't need it. Magenta is one of those colors you cannot mix, and that's a quadrichrome magenta. Different companies make them. If you're into flowers, if you're one of those artists that loves flowers, buy all the reds. You see a different red, just buy it. You can't have enough reds. Okay, and so then we're going to do Cad Red Medium, which is right here. Speaking of reds, that's an orange red, okay, as opposed to Naphtha Crimson, which is your primary red, or red that's on the color wheel, all right? So one of the questions that came up, I haven't had a chance to answer everybody, but I kind of read over everybody's comments from yesterday, and I understand that people are kind of liking this format of what John and I were doing. One question that I'd just like to address something. I think that there's a kind of odd perception out there that John really doesn't know what he's doing with computers. John is a programmer, builds websites for a living, and he's like he edits all our videos. He's like, this company wouldn't run without John. I promise you what, John's the other half of this company. He's the one that makes sure that all our videos are up and running and troubleshoots and walks our members. If you're a member of Ginger Cook Live Black Gallery and you're a little computer challenge, and who isn't these days, John is not. And he walks our members, gets on the phone with them, gets on Team Viewer and finds problems with their computers to help them view our videos. We're one of the few websites putting out Phthalo Blue, and I'm just going to say this about the Phthalo Blue, one of the few websites that our videos on our lessons are available, and we have all those things. iPhones, you can watch them on iPhones. You can view our website on a tablet. You can view it on a PC, on a Mac. He has the programming for all that and keeps it updated. He keeps the bad guys off our server, like a police cop. We have people from other countries, just kind of malcontents that run around and ping people's websites and cause trouble. They don't get on our website, okay? I mean, John does all, you couldn't imagine the stuff. John stays up till 3 every morning working on our projects, really. And he's up again by 9:30, 10. I'm just saying that that you just can't know all the wonderful stuff John does. Just wanted to say that for you, John, because I feel like you've been maligned, sweetheart. And he's not going to say anything for himself, but I'm going to say that. We're talking about, he's really good at what he does, and oh gosh, he's helped my friends with their websites, just so many things. Somebody asked us the other day if he built websites. Yes, he does, but he charges real money for them. He doesn't do it for free, but he's working all the time, either for us or other companies that have him do it. And he's got all kinds of degrees in website building and computer programming and up the wazoo, as they used to say. Did you used to say that, up the wazoo, John?
Up the wazoo, yeah.
Yeah, you say that? Okay, those are some of our expressions. If your English is your second language, that's American colloquialism. Up the wazoo, which is translated lightly, up the bum, right? Something like that. Right? So, all right, so you've seen we put some colors out. I think I still need burnt umber. And I'm going to show you how we're going to break this this painting down. I don't, did we get that bill? Did you bring that bill up there, John?
Oh,
you medical bill?
Yeah, I got Bill with me.
Okay, so listen, people always like the stories, and I always like to share with you what's going on in my life while we're doing the dull stuff like putting out the paint. I am very grateful that I have what's called in this country Medicare. I pay for it about $350 a month between the two, supplemental and the others. That's not free if there's a misconception that it's free. But I want you to know that every month they send us an update on what's been going on. Now, for the most part, since I never see the doctor, I haven't seen a doctor in years and years and years,
That's how many pages.
this is what's a 29-page summary of all the stuff that happened. And all that's happened for me is that last December they removed a gallbladder, and then I had those two surgeries on the eyes to replace the cataracts. And every once in a while, I told John, I said, you will not, John has to decipher that for me, because I'm reading that going, what is this? Okay. And again, there's this crazy idea that, well, if you don't have any kind of medical insurance, you're just dead in the water. Really.
Or close to it.
Or close to it, because you can't believe how much money all this stuff was. John, what was that one trip to the hospital that we went? It was like $57,000?
Yeah, $57,000 for the first visit when we first had the gallbladder attack.
Yeah.
$57,000.
Now, I was
that was
lucky.
just warm-ups.
That was just the warm-ups, and it went on from there. I'm just saying that Medicare covered part of it, and then I had the supplemental insurance I pay another $150 a month for, and they covered some of it. And then when I had my cataracts, for instance, removed, and I had the lenses put in, there was your recovery time, which was like about all of maybe 30 seconds. They offered me some juice before I left, and I thought that was very kind. That went on the bill to Medicare for $30. I got a little thing of juice
and
that I got.
And it was a good juice, I assure you of
that. It was
that.
a lovely juice, and I'm not saying I wasn't grateful to have it, but man, that was $30, right? I'm just saying, And they just think, all right, so we're going to spray the back of the canvas. We've sanded the first. I like to rant every once in a while, because I think that people, particularly if you're watching this from somewhere else and you have good medical, you should be really glad that you do. And like I say, I'm not the least bit ungrateful that I have it. And but for instance, John has no medical insurance.
No, when I went to get mine, it's $3,500 a month plus a $3,000 deductible.
Yeah, and that's the other thing they told us, is that all kinds of people that did have health insurance, actually couldn't go because they couldn't afford the deductibles. All right, so I'm going to come down 3 fingers here, like that, and then I'm going to just make a little line like that, and I come up about 4 fingers from the top. 1 finger is a half an inch, all right? But not everybody's going for inches, and I'm just going to come down here and just sort of do this to the corner, come over here about 3 fingers and stop here, like that. Sort of just do this little line here. And then what we're going to do is we're going to come kind of straight out from here, like this, straight out maybe 4 fingers, and then curve it, and then do this, maybe about 3 fingers, and curve it, and then run it out to our line here. Then come down about half an inch and do this. Okay, and then skip a little space and do another one. Let's just make this like this. Here's this last little one. There's kind of, I guess it gets a little shorter. It does more like this, and then kind of comes over here like that somehow. All right. So basically, this is our zigzag for our. Then this is the only drawing I'm going to be doing on this. All right.
It's really simple drawing.
It's very simple drawing. All right. So let me just measure this to make sure I have it.
You got a reference photo they can throw
Yeah,
up
look,
for
I'm
a
going to
second?
throw the reference photo so you can see what I'm talking about here.
And that's the one where she flipped the bird around.
That's the one where we flipped the bird around. But I mean, I'm just, let's see, I came in here about, well, this last one is about 5 inches from the edge where it stops here. I think it comes out a little further than I have it. Okay, it comes out here. Let me just, what did I do with the chalk? All right, I'll just use pink because I'm going to change it. It comes out this far, like that, 5 inches from the edge. And then this one comes out a little bit further here. There we go. We're just kind of changing this a little bit, like that. There we go. All right. So that's all we're doing. Now this is going to be up here like this. I'm going to come here about 3 fingers, come down here and just do another thing like that. That's going to be this will all be sky, right, like that. So you notice that there's a similar angle here, similar angle here. Design-wise, this is a very nice photograph. See how this is coming down here and this is coming down here at an angle? You've got this going across. Your horizon line is always straight, remember? Always straight, okay? So now that we've got that settled, and I'll put this here, put this here so you can, let's see, where can I put this? You want to back out a little bit for me so that people can kind of see
Yes, boss.
what we're doing?
Oop, not that one.
No, not
And the
that
reference
one.
photo came from
That was Paint My Photo.
Paint My Photo.
Paint My Photo. That's the reference photo. And if you go to Ginger Cook on Paint My Photo, you can go to my gallery and then you'll see this painting up already, and that'll take you a link to the reference photo if you want it, rather than having to hunt it. Okay? Just go to Ginger Cook. Is it Ginger Cook on Paint My Photo, or is it Ginger Cook Live?
I'll look and let them know.
I'm not sure, but
not
anyway,
either.
you got to go over to Paint My
It's
Photo,
probably
find
Ginger
me,
Cook, though.
you know, become a follower, and then you'll get notified whenever I do clever, fun things, right? So, well, at least some of the clever, fun things I do, right? Not everything. Certainly not everything. All right, that's too big. Let's find a smaller brush. Dum-de-dum. Like the sound effects. This is a good brush. All right, I like this brush. This is a Ruby Satin Silver. This is a number 8 bright brush. And what I want to do is put in this background sky. So we're going to start with titanium white and a little ultramarine blue like that. Now that's too bright. Now one way you can gray a blue is you take a tiny bit of Cad Red Medium and just add like 1%, and that will gray your blue. Just a teeny bit of that. All right, that will gray it. If you put too much, it'll turn it kind of purple, so I'll add a little bit more, right? Now all I have to do here is come across the top of this like that. There we go. With the sky here like this. One thing. Okay, so I'm going to make sure I might go a little further. Just make sure that you've got this darkest line. Now I'm going to add some more white to that. A little more ultramarine blue. Lighten this up. Now the next line is going to cross like this. Now if you can zoom in for a minute, I'll show people how I'm doing this, please. Okay, ready? So this one's a little bit lighter. Now I've wiped the brush and I'm just going to cross it over like this, kind of blend that out. Then I'm just going to grab some more white and come down a little lower. And then as I go back, because there's paint in my brush, back and forth like this, and then overlap that line, your sky always gets lighter as it comes down toward the horizon. So we'll just keep on coming down like this. There we go. So there's our lighter sky as it comes on down like that. And if you need to, you can put add a little more blue up here if you want to brighten this up a bit. But this is what you're doing is you're kind of overlapping it like that. And you'll notice I'm going all the way off, or should be going all the way off the canvas. I'm not bad me. You want to go all the way off the canvas like that. And if you're going to go back, start off the canvas and go that way. All right. Now somewhere in here, we're saying that's the horizon line. Somewhere in here, here's this dark color again, the same one that we put up here. I'm just going to come down here and add a little bit of some mountains here, back here like that. See, right there, like that. There's a little mountains, and then later we'll put a little sky there if we want to, some little clouds or something. All right, so that's all the underpainting involved with that. Now our next one is this one, so I'm going to rinse the brush, and I think the first thing we'll do is just take some burnt umber like this, and I will go ahead and put this first row of bulkheads in, this wall of bulkheads for these guys, like that. I've had water on the brush, and so it's going to thin the paint, so make sure you've really wrung it out on your brush. Let's do this here like that. There's this first one like that. It's doing this, and then here's this next one that's doing this, and then we've got another little one up here that's sort of a skinny one. As I watch this, look at my picture, I'm just doing this like this. This one's coming out like this and kind of goes down to a point here like that. Okay, so those are those three. All right, like there you go. Let's bring this up a little bit higher. All right, that was easy. Yeah, so everybody's good with that?
Piece of cake.
All right, so I'm in the burnt umber question.
No questions yet.
All right, so listen, thanks everybody for, if you've just now joined us and you're wondering what we're doing, this is what we're painting. This is Cornwall in the spring. This is from a real painting from Paint My Photo. All right, like that. We're going to show you how to do this in acrylics. Isn't that think this is kind of pretty? And and I think I'm kind of excited about, this color. So I'm going to come down here, as long as I'm in the brown, I'm going to come up here about 4 fingers and put a mark here, come down at an angle about 3, and just make this a dark brown color right here. Okay, like that. That's that burnt umber color. That's sort of a staple. Burnt umber is one of those colors that you really have to. If you want it darker, add a little ultramarine blue to that, and that'll darken it up in a heartbeat. If you want it darker, look how much darker that went just by adding some ultramarine blue. Okay, so then up in here, I need a dark green. So I'm going to start with brown, and then I'm going to get some ultramarine blue, and then I'm going to get some cad yellow medium, and I'm going to make this sort of Loden green, all right? And I'm going to come in here like this, just really pushing pretty hard, and I'm going to take this area. Notice I'm starting in the middle, above our bulwark of wall, okay? And I switch brushes now and get something a little, suggest, some trees, and everything's coming down to an angle, and then just
Already
sort of stopping in here. We've stopped streaming again.
And we're back again. It's going to be hiccuping, I guess.
Well, listen, I was talking to my daughter Cinnamon today too, and she said that she was having that the streaming's been a little iffy this week. And for instance, we were looking there. John found this site map, you guys, of YouTube where it's YouTube Health around the world. It's almost scary, isn't it? Like, what do you mean YouTube Health? And apparently there is. And France right now in England, what we looked at dinner, was experiencing some real red zones, whatever that red didn't look good to me. It didn't sound good, right?
It doesn't sound good at all.
Doesn't sound good. But they were experiencing some real red zones. Here, let's just come up here like this, like that.
It was a quick recovery this time.
Oh, good. Last night, what it did, what we noticed the last night, what it did was it just when the video went up, the full video. If you saw what we painted last night, we painted this tree, and I gave you not only how to varnish, but I gave you all the rules you need to know about things that you shouldn't do when painting trees. And it just spliced it together, and you just missed it. You know what I mean? You would, suddenly I'm talking about something, and then I'm talking about something else. Okay, and so it kind of put it back. YouTube put it back together again, sort of.
Like Humpty Dumpty. Like
Humpty Dumpty, yeah. Okay, so that's our Loden green color. Okay. Now what we want to do while this is still wet is we're going to, I think I didn't get out the yellow oxide, but we're going to do that now while this is still wet. Okay. We're going to do a little bit of blending here. So I'm going to take a little bit of yellow oxide, and I'm going to come in here like this and do a few little, and maybe a little bit of yellow. Okay, like that. All right. Now, I'm going to rinse my brush and clean that off. Now, I'm going to take a clean brush. It can be, it doesn't have to be a big one like this, but this will work, right? And dampen it, and then I'm going to start up here and barely touch it, and just melt that off, and then I'll wipe it off and blend this in. Do you see what I'm doing? Blend that in. This is very lightly touching it, okay? Okay, and I'm leaving this dark line up there. So there's our blending it in. That's all I'm doing right there. Blending that in, kind of putting that out of focus. Okay. Now this color green is a little different. We went from the army green color to, we're going to change, and we're going to take some phthalo blue now and some cad yellow medium, and we're going to make a bright green, and we're going to put a little purple in it, because purple is red and blue, okay? And red grays green because it's opposite green on the color wheel, and green grays red, or tones it back so it's not so bright. So now this is a darker green, but you see it's more of a blue green. Do you see the color difference in this one? Now we're going to come down like this, and we're going to paint this a nice, this sort of dark green color, like that. Now let's get a little bit more phthalo blue in it, a little bit more purple. I want it a little bit darker even. I come down here. All right, so we're going to say that this is the blue-green color, and you can definitely see the difference between these two, can you not?
I can.
one of the reasons that you want to, learn how to blend your own colors. Now, when I get down to about here, I'll just sort of stop a little bit before my line. I can always put more green back leaves, but I know I'm going to want at least this much green, okay? All right, so that much I know to be true. So then what else could I do? Well, what would happen if we added some white to this? That's a pretty color, isn't it? Look at here. Let's if we added some white to that. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? So
It's
now
like an
I'm going
ocean
to
color.
come. That's almost a turquoise color. I'm going to come this way with it. And now I'm going sideways with this brush. Okay. A little bit more white with it, like that. Now, isn't that interesting? We've got this sort of pretty turquoise blue, and all we did was just add a bit of white to that. Now, as we come up, because this isn't the tropics, we're going to add a little bit of ultramarine blue to this, and a little white. Change the blue slightly, and overlap. So it's more of a turquoise as it's closer to us, but as it gets back over here, it's not, okay? And I'm just keeping the brush strokes. I want to keep this level like that down in here like this. You're going, oh, that's kind of cool. Now a little bit more ultramarine blue and white. Okay, and that's as we go back, okay, this way and around our wall. I'm going to level this out. Here it doesn't go out at a point. It's still pretty level. Kind of skinny that up. A little more ultramarine blue, a little bit of white. Okay, now here's this is back here like this. So now look how we were able to, just want to say that, get these different blues, you see, and all we did was just keep changing the blue as we mixed. That's pretty good, isn't it? For an underpainting, I mean, that pretty fast, right? Ha!
Lickety split, I'm thinking.
Lickety
split.
Lickety split.
But you really, what is that? Lickety split. Yeah, you see, nothing. You got nothing. You got nothing.
Lickety split is a term one used to imply speed.
But where did it come from? All words have origins and phrases.
There was a man
There was a man,
named Mr. Lickety,
and he
left his wife and he split.
And he did it in such a hurry.
It's been called lickety split ever since.
I knew there was an answer.
Just ask me. Who knows?
The all-knowing.
Okay, so, all right. So I want to tell you, speaking of that, while we're letting this dry for a second, all right?
Yeah, we are letting it
dry
dry
for a second. I want to say that, I want to tell you a little bit about a game we've been playing with you guys. And I don't know if I have the painting of the game we're giving away.
You will shortly.
And so about 3 videos ago, we decided that it would be fun that somewhere down into the our monologue here of how long it takes to finish this, I would include a secret word. All right?
A word that has no meaning.
Nothing with the doing. For instance, let me give you an example. For instance, tractor doesn't have anything to do with what we're doing.
No. We use tractor an awful lot.
Well, I'm just saying. I'm not saying tractor would be a word, but I'm just giving you an example. That's what we're painting an ocean scene, so that'd be that kind of thing.
Okay.
And then I was worried that some people, there's the feed cuts off. So we're going to give you a bonus word this video also.
Ooh, right? This is going to be a twofer.
Word, because what we want you to do is collect at least 8 of the words, and we're going to throw in a few bonus words during the videos because not everybody here's something or their video cut out or whatever, and I want you to be able to all play. And the winner will win this painting, which is one of our
a drawing of all the correct answers.
Yeah, if you have all, we're going to do a random drawing. If you have all 8 words, then we'll do it right live here on YouTube, and you'll get to see it. And I will mail this. I don't care where you live. I'm going to mail this to you. All right. This is an original painting, by me, and I want you to have it. And here's the thing, you guys. We got a message from one of our viewers last night who suddenly the joy had left Mudville.
Oh, I hate that.
Yeah, and the reason had been that the game was to try to find the secret word. It was like a puzzle, all right? It's like somebody telling you to the end of the movie before you go see it. So apparently...
Spoiler alert.
It was a spoiler alert. So here's the thing. If your best friend's on and you want to double check words, I don't care if you share them with people, just don't share them with this live group. Do a private message to that person. You want to tell them all the words and you want to give them an edge on your, because there may be only a few people in the drawing before we're done. So if you want to
decrease your odds,
decrease your odds, that's okay, but don't spoil it for everybody else. Can we ask you to do that as a favor? This is a nice thing to do, I think, and it's a fun thing, and it's a great game. And again, we'll give you 2 secret words during this video, so we'll have a bonus word. So even if you didn't, because there'll be a total of 8. We've done 3 so far, correct?
Yeah,
John?
probably this week and next week we're going to give 2 words during the session, so there's going to be 2 extra words. All you need to have is 8 total.
Yeah. That's
and
all
we'll
you'll
give
need
you a
is
link at the end of the event so you know where to do it. Do not send in
the words now. Don't send them in now, okay? But we just thought it would be a fun thing to do, just something fun, just to kind of, we appreciate you guys all playing live, and it's nice, and if other people are watching this afterwards, and they of course won't see what you wrote, but these guys all want to play too, and we don't want to take their joy away, right? And now, that being said, I'm not going to ring, we want to thank Sharon.
No.
No, this wasn't Sharon, this was Judith Guitar. She gave me a bell. Now when you...
Oh, and that sounds so great in my ear.
Don't you like? Dang!
That's just perfect. Thank you.
Yeah,
I feel like it's
left.
Christmas. The Salvation Army.
This is like the guy that stands out. And this really, you'd think this bell was for donations. When I ring this, we want some donations. But actually, if you have the question of the day, I'm going to ring this bell. And Judith very nicely sent us $20 to give to one of you guys to win a free month lesson at gingercooklive.gallery, a full month, not a week, a full month. She sent us $20.
That's a whole 30 days.
Yes, a whole 30 days, a lesson, okay? So again, if you have a great question, and if you have a question, be sure to put it in capital letters. Yeah?
Yeah, but it has to be capital letters.
Otherwise we don't see it. Our moderators are trying very hard. We want to give a shout out to Kim Sung and Wendy, and we have another moderator on tonight, John?
Yeah, Medina,
thank you guys. These guys do this for free. Be nice to our moderators. They're just being kind here to us, and they're helping us out and kind of.
We love them.
We love them, and they're keeping out, some of the people that would spoil your experience. We want. Look at, you want the live shows. The reason they're so fun is you get a chance to meet other people, to chat, to have fun, this kind of stuff, right?
Maybe find a painting buddy.
And find a painting buddy.
Oh, there's a whole other topic we need to talk about sometime.
All right. We'll talk about that tonight. So I think this is dry enough to go on it with a little bit of our next step, all right?
Are you sure?
I think so.
I still see glossy.
Well, right here. What we're going to do is we're going to take a small brush like this, a small little angle brush, and it's dry. And I'm going to take a little bit of mixing white. All right, you ready for this? And I want to just come along above our mountains here, or these back hills. I don't think they have any mountains in England. No offense. Maybe they do. I don't know anything about England. I'm just going to shut up. Whatever these are back here. They were in the picture. I don't know, right? But whatever these are, these little rises of land mass back here, we're going to create. See that? We're just going to create a few little clouds like this. Nothing too crazy.
Can I ask you a couple questions while you're doing that?
Yeah. Did you want to zoom in so people can see it?
I'm zoomed in. I mean, do you want me to be tighter?
Well, I think we're okay. Do you see how, maybe I'll come in here like this and sort of, muddy up the waters a bit. I don't want to talk about these too much. Then maybe I've got a little bit of little bit of mixing white right here. Just a few little light streaks in the water, this transparent white. Ooh, big glob, don't want that.
Why does Ginger use ultramarine blue instead of cobalt?
I think there's a lot of different blues you can do. If you haven't seen my Adventures in Blue, that really explains it. Go watch it. It's free on YouTube. It gives you all the colors of the different colors and what the different ones are. And why, and they'll explain exactly why I use ultramarine blue and phthalo blue. But I mean, I'm not against you buying everything in the world and using whatever blue you like. For me, I can get all the colors that way, and they pretty much make everything. Okay, so I think I want even some more clouds up here. Let's give some marine clouds up here. A little of this.
Does Ginger use long handle or short handle silver brushes?
I use both, but on the small handles, they only make these angle brushes in the short handle. The question, they only make them. So
they don't make big ones of those.
They don't make them. But I mentioned, my daughter Cinnamon. They approached her, And you know, and then she has this brush deal because of them. You know, they approached her and said, "Would you?" And she got together and they worked on brushes together. And this is unheard of for a brush company. And I said, "Listen, as long as you have their ear,
Make me a brush.
I want one of these at an angle." So who knows? I mean, maybe someone will listen to me. I don't know. I want an angle, a big one for a bigger paint. But I love these angle brushes. I use these all the time. And before that, I used the bright brushes. I never even had seen those before, but up until then, I used the bright brushes. All right, so let's just take a little bit more to rinse the brush. Let's just come in here. It doesn't have to be, let's just do a few little light streaks in our water here. Just make it kind of interesting. Just a few. You know, it's water here. Keep these level. We're not trying to make tides. This is just a very, very calm sea today.
Easy waves, easy waves.
It's very, very, very calm. You can even see from the photo that there's really nothing going on in the water, right? So we're not going to get too crazy.
No craziness.
All right. We're not doing that. Nothing too crazy. What happened here? What do I have to do here? I think I have to put some water behind here. I think so. Well, that's
what's in
pink.
the picture?
It's in what's water, I guess. Let me get a little more blue and gray. Let me gray that out. I didn't see that. I think I drew this in slightly different than the first one, which, you know, it's okay. We just have to compensate for it then. So let's just come back here with a little of this.
Ginger,
Okay.
do you have any hints to painting with vision challenges? There's so many vision challenges, I'm not sure. You know, colorblind would be a challenge.
I don't know. I mean, I just, you know, Monet was going pretty blind toward the end. And the reason is, we were talking about that, is because back in the day, they didn't have cataract surgery. So as your eye started to, the lens of your eye started to cloud over, that was just it. Here's a little, I'm making this sort of cad yellow, yellow oxide, or you have yellow ochre, a little bit of burnt umber, a little bit of white. Going to come this way now on this and pull it this way on our wall. Okay, like that. There we go. And do the same thing here.
This painting does not really have a vanishing point, does it? Not really.
Not really. It's not
There's
one of those
nothing
ones
there.
that
No.
does. Okay.
No vanishing point. We do have another question here from
See, like that. There's a.
Cindy Lou.
And then here's the wall here, like this. Yeah.
Any advice for adjusting from toll painting struggling with the difference?
Well, toll paintings, they use different kind of paint, you guys.
Isn't it thinner?
It's thinner, and it's thinner, and it comes in little jars. It's more like the what I want to say, the flow of like this stuff. It's more like a Matisse flow or golden fluid acrylics, and so you're using different paint. So my suggestion is just forget everything you know about that and watch how we teach you to do it using everybody acrylics, all right?
Because it is totally different.
Because it's different. It's just if I had
like
to take
even
up
from
airbrush
watercolor.
painting, I'm adding a little more white to this, by the way.
Oh, even going
Here's
from
the top.
watercolor, which is all smooth,
Yeah, it just you know, if you're taking up
it's
oil,
a challenge.
yeah, it's just a different type of painting. Okay, so here's a little yellow oxide, a little bit of brown now. Next coat on the wall. See, let me just see what I did here. So here we go. Let's see, a little bit more
Back out so
brown.
you can see what we're doing.
Okay, and I'll put a little cad red medium with it. Okay, so here I want a little bit darker right in here like this. Here's our wall. The same thing here, and then I'm going to take a little burnt umber and make this darker here. Okay, so I want this darker like that. And then this wall here, because I don't have it straight anymore, this one right here, you see I lost my straight up and down angle? And you can say that's easy to do, right? So all you do is you just take some of the watercolor color, right? And then I'm going to come under this and trim this off like this. Skinny this wall up a bit, and I'll skinny this one up here, right like that. And then I want to take it and cut it off right there. See?
Here's a question
And
for
then
you
just
from
straighten that
Mudgy.
out. Okay, so I mean that's just easy enough to fix, all right? You see how I fix
Mudgy's
that?
a new artist with us, 77 young, and she would like to know, how do you know if there is a vanishing point when you have a painting?
Well, if you're going from a photograph, right?
Yeah.
So usually vanishing
have
points,
anything up
your
there?
vanishing point is on a horizon line, all right?
You usually
And the
have
horizon
something
line-
that's
then,
going
then
to
there's something, like
vanish.
for instance, here, right? I mean, there's your horizon, right? So technically these houses are all going off into a vanishing point way off here, but they're not germane to what we're doing. So just follow the angles on your photograph. Yeah, that's not a secret word either.
No,
It's not German. No, but it's a good one, isn't it?
It's a good word.
All right, so well, we can show you a photograph. Let's just, we get into that. If you haven't watched the video on how to do garden steps and how to draw in garden steps
That's a
on
good one,
YouTube,
isn't
that's
it?
a good one to explain some
Yeah.
of that. That's a whole nother subject, drawing. In the meantime, just follow the instructions. Don't try to make this up. Follow the step-by-step instructions of your guide here, your acrylic guide, and eventually all will be explained over the course of time. In fact, we offer at gingercooklive.gallery, we encourage people to come take our video lessons. We start with the very basics, how to use a brush, how to blend all this stuff, back to basics. And even
Hey,
if
you might even want to watch my series I've got going on, huh?
Yeah, but I'm just saying, if you come over to
Same thing.
gingercooklive.gallery and you watch and you
Yeah.
become a member, you start with all these basic lessons and learn how to use the toys before you try something else, right?
And you
It's
need
like
to.
you don't try to paint, play Beethoven's concerto before you learn to play Mary Had a Little Lamb on the piano. You got to start with somewhere, right? Okay. All right, so we're going to take a little bit of white now, and we're going to come up a little bit of that yellow oxide color, a tiny bit of purple, and kind of gray this out like less than 1%. And I've got my angle brush. Now I'm going to come in here like this, and using just my angle brush, I'm going to put in a few of these little houses like this. Some of them are overlapping. All right, like that. And I'm going to come this way. We're going to go up the hill like this, and we're going to put in some houses like this, just using the side, using the brush as sort of the guide for where these are going to go. See how I'm stacking these up? All right, and then maybe back here I've got a small one. It's a little smaller, because things get smaller as they go away. Down over here, this is a little village, fishing village here. Okay, ancient, these guys keep all the buildings forever, Well, in New Orleans, I'd say that, but in New Orleans, for instance, if you owned a little old house in New Orleans, in the city of New Orleans, they've got an ordinance that if you take down a shutter that somebody had put up that design, say, in the 1800s, you've got to go back with another shutter that looks like it. And there's a whole industry that remakes old junk to look like the old junk that someone started with. Okay, I'm just saying.
So you can get new junk to replace your old
you
junk.
get new junk that's, maybe it's plastic, but it looks just like the old junk.
Okay.
And this is but that, they lived there. That's what they wanted to preserve the look of the town. And I can appreciate that, because I remember going to Barcelona one time, and, they hadn't preserved the old, they had high rises next to old antique things and hadn't preserved it. And there's a practicality why they did that, but conversely, if you go to France, they don't do that stuff. They preserve it, because they understand tourism is one of their big industries too. All right, so those are these buildings. Now, once you take a little white paint just on the corner of your brush like this, and let's just give the face of some of these a little bit of white toward the front, like that. See that? A little bit of white.
Don is asking a question: how do you get the cliffs to look rounded?
Well, we drew them in like that.
Yeah, the brush strokes.
The brush strokes. We drew them in like that.
Drew them in, and the brush strokes are going around the curve.
Yeah, we drew them in like that. But this, there you go. And then this is yeah, absolutely, we drew them in like that. Okay. So all right, so we've got some of that going. I think that's fairly interesting. What we've got going this far, and I want to take a little bit of this reddish brown color here, and just tone this down a bit. Down out this way where our peninsula is. All right, so that's out there. These are our houses. Let's make some orange, okay? So let's take some cad red medium and some yellow, probably more yellow, okay? And let's make an orange color, okay, with me? That's kind of a nice kind of a goldy orange color, right, like that. Now I'm going to wipe my brush off, take some white paint and add to that. Now I've got this sort of pale orange, and I'll put a drop of purple in it to kind of tone that down so it's not so bright. Put a little more cad red medium in it.
Anna Marie suggests that Ginger must retire in Europe.
Oh yeah, I should love to retire in Europe. Okay, so, all right, so here we go. I'm going to just put a little roof on here like this. But we sure want to travel around Europe. Here I'm putting a few little roofs on these things like that, just coming across the top of the buildings. Some little orange roofs. See that? In other words, we're just suggesting, this is Impressionism, we're just suggesting some houses We're suggesting a village, and we don't want the orange too bright. This is just the roofs, and maybe we'll just even put a few more in here like this. Maybe I've got a smaller one here now that I'm looking at it. This will all be flowers here, but let's bring another building over here. Here, I'll just bring this down like that. Here's another building right here. It's kind of tilted. Let's just straighten that up like that. Okay, so, all right, there we go, like this, and we're going to have maybe nothing above the wall. All right, so far so good. Maybe teeny one up here.
We have an open invitation to Amsterdam.
Oh, we appreciate that very much. We'd just love to travel and do that stuff. And someday we're hoping to be able to do that.
Brenda's asking a question. I'm going to try to figure out exactly what she's asking, but I'm thinking if you have a brush and your handle splits, she's calling it a bad brush. If you're a bad brush mommy and your brush handle splits, do you throw them away or duct tape them? That's what she wrote.
Well, I'd duct tape them, and I wouldn't throw them away. Why would you throw them away? As long as the brush is still there, I guess it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
I'd duct tape them. And they've got all kinds of super glues and stuff too. You know, you don't want to get past that. Now here's a little of this same color, and I want to just put a little bit of raw umber with it. And now look here, that roof color, and I'm going to come in here like this and just do some little sideways motions against this dark brown, like that. And then just sort of soften that wall up a bit. Okay, that's easy. Oh gosh, aren't you just thinking that's amazing?
Very impressed.
All right, now we haven't finished all that, but that can be drawing while we're talking about something else. Now we got to tell you, we've been having a blast today. John and I have been having a really good time today. And what came in the mail was this art game.
Oh yeah.
And we're going to be playing that with you guys. I mean, it's just fun things to do. It's an art quiz, okay? So John's going to, I'm going to roll this little dice here, and I guess we have, what are my 5 choices?
Okay, what we have is, we have a card, just like, what was that?
It's like a trivia. It's like a trivia game, okay? And I don't know, and probably don't know all the answers. Maybe you know, it's kind of fun. You can play along, see if you know the answers too.
So the dice is 1 through 6. So we have a who, a what, a when, a where, a how, and then the mystery question.
And the mystery question. So I'm going to roll the dice. Everybody kind of sees me roll it here like this.
Yeah, I don't see it. It's a 5.
It's a 5. So what is that?
That's a how.
That's a how. Okay, so John's going to read us the first how question while we start putting in some of these colors. Okay?
I got to pick out the right card here.
Okay.
Here we go.
Yep.
All color coded for me.
In
which country did the Renaissance begin? Your choices are France, Spain, or Italy. Now, before Ginger answers, let's have some participation from the studio audience.
Studio audience, what country do you think, you guys, and all shout what country did the Renaissance begin? Okay?
France, Spain, or Italy?
Okay.
We'll probably get in trouble for that.
Will we?
Who knows?
I know. I'm going to come up here about 3 fingers and get this. I guess this is the one that
3
has to
fingers
come up.
is 1.5 inches for those that aren't.
Inch and a half for those who don't know. And then
that.
we're going to come up here with another one like that. These are our cliff things up here where our bird's going to go, right?
We did have another question, whether we're coming back to that.
Okay. They're coming back. What's our other question?
When picking out a photo to paint, is there anything one should avoid or look for? How do I know if I have a good photo?
Oh, this is perfect because I have a video on YouTube on just having 10 things to
avoid. Are you kidding me?
No, I do.
Right there on YouTube?
Right here on YouTube. There's
you
a
think
video,
Wendy can
10
find
things
it for
to
us?
avoid on how to pick a photo out when you're painting. 10 things to avoid.
I knew you'd love that question.
Yeah, I want to, yeah.
Wendy, find that one for us, please.
Thank you, Wendy. All right, we're going to talk about azaleas while you guys are doing that. These are hydrangeas, rather. I want you to just
okay.
see
We have the answers coming in now.
What are some of the answers?
We have France. The question again. One more. Here we go. In what country did the Renaissance begin? France, Spain, or Italy? We have France, Spain, Italy, Spain, Italy, LOL, Italy, France, Italy. Italian Renaissance, all of the above, Spain, Italy, France. Okay, guys, according to this...
So many people want... It sounds like most of the votes were for Italy, but I got to tell you, I should write mine down on the chalkboard before you do that.
That you should.
But my vote was Italy. My vote was Italy.
You would be correct.
It was Italy.
It was Italy.
Ha ha! See? All right, we learned
So everybody
something
got
new.
Italy, give yourself a pat on the back.
Yay,
Job well done.
yay.
Woo!
Italian Renaissance. Okay.
Now tell me that isn't fun. Come on,
All
guys.
right, come on, that was fun. We'll tell them the name of this card game. This was fun. You can play it with your friends. We bought this on Amazon. This looked fun, right? What
Oh,
was
I
it
have
called?
600 questions, beginner to expert of art.
600 questions, beginner to expert of art. Let me have that box. I'm going to show people what it looks like. So you can. I thought it would be fun. We'd play this on the show just while we're driving around. Now, look, you're talking about flowers that are basically the shape of this. All right, kind of. They're not quite circles like this because they're kind of overlapping. Do you see that? This is sort of the shape, okay? But how you're going to paint them is you're going to do them all with little dots, okay, like this. You're going to make all these little dot things. And then the highlights are going to be on top. Where's my light color chalk here? The highlights, you know, the lighter section of the color is going to be on top, all right? Do you see how we're going to paint that? So already that looks like a flower. Now I'm going to show you another one, see? I'm with the chalk. Once you understand the shape of what we're doing, like that, here we go. Here's our dark, you know, here's our shape, and then they're not too perfect, so don't get them too perfect. They're not really this. Some of them might be this, right? Or some of them might be that, but generally speaking, this is kind of the shape, right? So then we've got the light on top, maybe some lights hitting it right here on the flower, like that, okay? Then what about this flower underneath? So this is the darker one here, all right, like that, okay? And then maybe we've got a darker color coming, oh, here's an orange, right? So I've got a darker color coming here, like that. Let's see, that's not showing up. This is there. I'll do this. I got a darker color here, down even darker. So probably 3 colors in this flower, and then the lightest one, the highlights, are on top. And we're going to do like all of them like that. Does it make sense? See? And now look at the photograph. Now zoom in on the photograph, John. Let me show you. Put my glasses on, and you see. Now see, they're all kind of these little puffy things, but the light highlights, light's coming from this way. And you can see that the light highlights are on the top, all right, like that, okay, of the flowers. So now that you know how we're going to paint those, right, now you know how we're going to paint those in, we're going to go ahead and do that right now.
Lynn challenged me. That was supposed to be a how question. I had the box backwards, and I pulled it out of the where questions.
Oh, gosh.
So that was a where, but, you know, we still played, and it was fun.
Well, as we draw these in, because this is like watching gas grow, let's just do another one, right? Ha! It's a 1. It's a 1. All right.
And I will pull it from the right side.
This is
a who.
With magenta. With magenta and a little white, but mostly magenta. I'm going to start here with the top one. And I'm just going to start poking in the flower. And the brush I'm using is a number 4 silver round by Bristol. It's by the Silver Company, and it's called Bristol, and it's a. This was one of the ones Cinnamon spied, and I ordered it off her page on the Brush Guys. This apparently is a level up from the Ruby Satin Silvers. I've never tried one, and I got to tell you, I am a fan. I'll probably look for the whole line of these, but I have never found a pointy brush that worked like well at all. All right, so here's my next one. It's going to come in like this. Now I'm going to skip a space. Do you see how I'm skipping a space? What's our question, John?
The official question, or do you want a silly question first? Let's have a silly question first. This is from Frisky Christie.
Yeah, Chris.
How do you scratch and itch while painting when you're covered in paint, and make itches stop itching when you don't? Just want to scratch. A person is always covered. Well, I'm going to tell you honestly. When Ginger's done doing a lesson and she's scratched, there is paint on her face and paint on her arms.
I just don't care.
She doesn't
just get
care.
Paint on me.
So
I really just don't care, right?
That's the way it goes. Okay, question. This is the who. This is a great one, too. What is the name of a person who protects artists by helping them financially? A conservator, a patron, or an estate? An estatee?
Oh, okay. So I'm going to
Do you know what the answer is?
Was there were 3 questions. The first, the second. The first one was the
a conservator,
a patron, and
then a E-S-T-E-T-E.
All right. So I'm going to just on the inside of this tab. I'm going to write down which number I think. All right. All right.
That'd be A, B, or C.
All right. Okay. Got it. So, all right. So now I've done about 3 of these. Now I'm going into the white, you guys, and I'm going right on top of this. Do you see this? Now see what I'm doing right on top of the dark, and then I get some more white. You see how I'm making these? Aren't these pretty? Come on, this is so cool, right? Making
Answers
these.
are coming in pretty hot and heavy.
All right. So what do we got? What we
The
got?
patron is running away.
Patron's running away. Okay.
We have a sugar daddy, or an angel.
Or an angel. That's good too. A sugar daddy or an angel.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, that would be my thing too. A patron, I think that's a good one.
Patron is the correct answer. Ding, 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 ding,
ding, ding, ding, ding, right?
2 for Ginger.
Okay.
It's a runaway.
All right, gonna do one more while we're painting these. Oh, it's a number 1 again. What do you got? Just another number 1 question, John. While we paint, because this is a little bit like watching grass grow. I'm sorry, but there's just so many of these little dingies. Ding, 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 ding. See, kind of coming around here like this. And I'm making the next layer. See that? Of flowers, more white.
Okay. You rolled a number 1 again?
Yeah, I rolled the number 1 again.
Who painted the lace maker?
Do I get a choice?
Oh, I couldn't even begin to tell these guys. We have the Greco.
El Greco?
Jans Vermeer.
Vermeer. There you go, Vermeer. Yeah.
And William Turner.
Okay, so I'm gonna write down.
People, when you're looking for a painting buddy, do not put your email out there. I don't know how you're going to get with these people, but maybe ask for a Facebook connection or something. We will eventually have our website fully operational for the forum, where it will be a nice, safe environment for you guys to get together. We hope to get that done soon.
And you can friend me on Facebook too at GingerCook 92. It's ginger.cook.92. And then if you guys want to, chat on Facebook and become friends, and then private message somebody on Facebook and say you want to be a painting buddy, that'd be a good way to do it too. So we get our forum up, right? Okay, see how I'm putting a little bit of light up here like that. See, so I've got my first flowers in, right? Now I just have to keep going. All right. So I mean, this is. You can see how we're doing it, all right?
Okay, we've got some Vermeers and some Turners coming in, and we have a Greco.
Okay, so my thing is I'm going to say Turner, or rather Vermeer. I think it's Vermeer.
Well, you have to say one or the other. You can't say
Vermeer.
both.
I think it's Vermeer.
Is that your final answer?
That's my final answer.
Do you want to call anybody?
I don't want to call anybody.
Okay. Vermeer is the correct answer.
Ah! Yay!
3 for 3.
3 for 3.
Hey, Ginger, is the brush you're using right now, is it really stiff?
It's not, but it's holding paint like crazy. I've never used one of these. I've been very disappointed with the large pointy brush. I always think they kind of collapse. It's stiff enough where it's not collapsing.
And can you tell us what that brush is again?
And this is, I'm telling you what, I found this on the Brush Guys, from the Brush Guys. It's a number 4 silver BRISTLON 1900 round. And I really like it. I like this. This is I'm telling you what, I've been using the Ruby Satin Silver from the Silver Company. I've been using this line forever. Cinnamon tells me that the Briston is the 1 step up from the Ruby Satins. I didn't know there was a step up. I'm always interested in the next brush, aren't you?
So and
I'm liking this one. I might try some others and let you know. But anyway, that's what this one is. I'm liking it. I have to say, I'm liking it. Now, in all fairness, let me show you how you might do it with another brush. I'm kind of cheating using this because I know you don't have one. And let's just,
you're assuming they don't have one.
I assume you don't have one. So let me show you how you might do it with a...
let me zoom in a little bit so we can see this in there.
Let me just show you how you might do it with a little angle. This is a 3/8 inch angle brush, like that. Now, does this work? Sure.
And you're just using the tip of it.
I'm just using the tip of it.
The long end.
The long end, and it works too. But it feels like this one carries more paint. I got to tell you, it feels like, and it's making more of a little bit more of more of a dot. Okay, but this you can use this angle one is what I would have been using before. I despised this one. These brushes just came today.
Marilyn's been using that line for years.
Hashing.
See, you can't assume they don't have it. Marilyn, thank you.
Thank you, Marilyn.
They are fabulous brushes and last for years.
Yeah, and so, there's an old expression, you get what you pay for sometimes. And now that's not always the case. Jerry's has got some brushes that they've got some that they want $90 for, and then every once in a while they do 90% off. And I got to tell you, you're charging me $90 for a brush, and once a year you sell it to me for 10. I have a real hard time going back to your $90 price. That's just me, right?
Yeah.
And so I understand that brushes and firecrackers are similar in markup, but still, see, I'm putting a little bit of white up here on the top. See, kind of adding the highlights. See, like that.
Here's a question for you.
Yeah. Okay.
From Christy. How do you manage to not get bored painting the same things over and over again, like clouds and trees and flowers, etc.?
Well, Christy, that's a good question. And the thing of it is that one of the things we're painting something really different every time. But one of the problems I had with the publisher is that publishers really narrow it down. It's like Stephen King writes horror novels, okay?
Can you imagine him doing a romance novel?
Yeah, if he did a romance novel, he'd have to self-publish it because nobody would buy it. Anne Rice, does vampire novels. When she started to go into some of her pornographic literature, when she did some, trust me, before she got so famous, she didn't care what anybody thought. She did it under a different name. Of course, if you read some of those books, I wouldn't put my name to any of that stuff either. But I'm just saying that what happens is that you get narrowed down. So if you're good at, say, boats, then all they want to see is boats. And that would make me crazy. One of the things I love about teaching you guys is I come up with new things to paint all the time. Though I've had publishers, Felix Rosenstyle in the UK is one of my publishers. Had publishers, for years, but that was, I've been turned down by publishers and turned them down because I didn't want to get narrowed in because I would get bored. And the painting party things that I was doing for a while, I did for 7 years. I've got to tell you, that was Groundhog Day because it's not just it's the same painting over and over again. To the same, new people, same painting, okay? But why that was a good thing for me to do, besides, paying all the bills, because it certainly did that, why that was a great thing for me was that the painting party pictures helped me understand the things you're likely to do. I can't see you. If you're sitting in my studio and giving you a lesson, I can go by and say, hey, don't do that, do this. But I don't know where you are and what you're doing, but I can preempt a lot of stuff because of those painting parties. So there's an example of that. All right, we got anything, one last game question here, John?
Well, in one more second. Kathleen is asking, how about using a deerfoot brush instead of what you're using?
Doing a what?
A deerfoot.
I don't know what that is. So
Isn't that what that little short stubby thing is that you got?
Well, yeah.
They make those in different sizes.
No, not something like this.
I don't know what a deerfoot looks like, but
I don't know.
I
don't know. Listen, these are the brushes I use. I don't care if you use your toes. Use whatever you like, right?
Oh, that's just not funny.
I don't. People use different things. Whatever works for you, and I'm just saying all I can tell you is what works for me.
That's true.
And then at that point, you've got to, make a decision. Is that what you want to do? All right, let's put another one here. I think we have a little hole here. Let's just pop in another one here. Do you see how we're painting it and how fast that's going in? Aren't those nice?
That's lovely.
I mean, so we know we've got some stuff here, and we're going to come out about, now that I'm seeing it, we're going to come out probably about into here a little bit higher than I went with the dark, but that's okay. And I might want to come up here with one, and just put a little tiny one here like that, maybe one that's almost heart-shaped, and put some white with it. I will say that these brushes do carry a lot of paint. All right, so now, while that's drying, we will go back to our angle brush, which is somewhere in the water. And let's take a little bit of brown and a little bit of yellow oxide and a little bit of white, like that. And let's come along here like this and paint the top of our cliff thing here. I'm going to come out like that and just paint this in here like this. So we've got to have somewhere for the bird to stand, don't you agree? Bird's got to stand somewhere. And so there's the top of this. Okay, so any more questions, John? Because I want to be able to give away that 1 month.
Not so far, boss.
Okay, good questions, you guys. Keep thinking of some good questions. All right, what's my game? Did I have to do another one?
You got to do a die.
6.
Oh, lucky 6. That's a mystery question. I love mystery questions.
I hate mystery questions.
I
don't
love
think I'm going to get any of those right.
Anything can be a mystery question.
Well, I guess so. Okay.
It's going to be a mystery.
All right. All right, a little bit of red and brown in here. Let's see, a little more brown, a little bit of ultramarine blue with that. Tone that down. A little tiny bit of white. There we go. That's pretty. Let's just bring some dark down here like that. And a little dark
Okay,
brown
here. Now this is a giving. Everybody should have this one right. There should be no wrong answers to this. You have to know what the word is. There's no givings on this one.
Okay.
What main characteristic did paintings have long before photography?
What main characteristics did paintings have before photography?
Yep.
Can I just say it? Because that seems
No.
stupid. Okay, all right, I'll be quiet.
No, you can't say it. Let's see what the peanut gallery comes up with.
Okay, what main characteristics did paintings have before photography?
And did you put that down on your chalkboard? So
I'm
we're
gonna
making
write
sure-
over here. Do the dump. I like that. Dun 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 dun.
Dun 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 dun
Okay.
dun 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 dun.
Yeah, got it. Okay.
Oh ho 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 ho! I'm liking that answer.
All right. What do we got? What's some answers we got now?
Vanishing point, texture, final point, realism, brushstrokes, perspective, realism, color, peanut gallery. Oh, that's funny. Portrait, realism, peanut gallery, color, realism. Okay, Ginger, what did you say?
All right. Paint.
And Ginger?
Said
It's wrong.
paint. Paint's wrong.
Color.
Oh,
We
you
had
got
color
it wrong.
and colors and painting before photography.
Okay, I guess that's
Those that said color, you are the big winner
you're
of
the
nothing
big winner.
today.
All right, you're the big winners. That was fun, right?
Yes,
All right,
I like
that was
that
sort
one.
of fun.
And
That
you
was
thought
a
it was
good one.
simple. Ha ha! I slay you, dragon.
Yeah, you did. All right, so okay, this
What
one
a fun
for
game.
you.
What a fun game.
One for you. All right, good job. That was fun, you guys. So you see how I've got this little bit of a cliff in here, and
Well, I like that.
You
Well,
know,
it looks
just
better
kind
on
of
this one than the first one.
well, you know, sometimes when you do things a few times, there's a watercolor artist who wrote this nifty book, and you know, her feeling was it kind of ties in with the woman about the question about getting bored with things. She felt you should do every painting 10 times, and the 10th time you'd really have a good one. You'd be over your intimidation about it. I don't know, but maybe watercolors take less time, and that would make me crazy. All right, I'm going to make a little kind of a light green color here, and I'm going to put a little yellow oxide in it, little phthalo blue, little oxide, tiny bit of purple, like less than 1%. Now I want to come in here like this, and I'm going to bury our houses and some trees. I'm going to just say that there's some trees coming around these houses like this. Maybe just add a few, and let's just put a few little brighter ones here in the front. Let's just say that there's some, you know, you're going to kind of put the houses in the trees. Let's make a darker green here too, a little bit of red with it, a little bit of yellow. Make a darker green here like that, and let's just say, there you go. So you got your houses in here. So there you go. So you don't want to just see the bottoms of them, you guys. You want to kind of bury the houses in the trees like that. So you put them in, and then you kind of bury them like that. Cool. Okay. Now we have to dry this with the dryer before we can put our bird in. We're
Okay,
gonna paint
before
our
we
bird
do
in
that,
now. Yeah.
we're going to do a question, a real question.
Real question.
And then we're going to do some of our art critiques. You have that one that you want to discuss of
Okay.
Andrew's Compare.
Okay.
And let's go with the question. When I paint on acrylic or watercolor paper, I like to tape it down with painter's tape. But when I peel it off, it tears off a bit of the top layer. What can I use instead?
Well, painter's tape is not what you use. Let's just start with that. Painter's tape.
Really?
That is the question. That's
Whoa,
a very good
right
question.
there.
Questionnaire person, you have just one.
Questionnaire person?
Don't you think they can't be callers, so they got to be questionnaire person, right? You have just won 30 days worth of art lessons at gingercooklive.gallery, including a personal art coach.
Whoa!
Hey, wow. So
See Wellwood.
if you already have the lessons, right? If you already one of our members, then you can pick 2 of our downloadable videos.
Wow.
Any of our downloadable videos, and we give you the free code for those. So you have the art lessons, you can pick 2 downloadable videos, all right?
I'm excited.
So that's a good thing, and that's all thanks to our good friend
Judith Guitar.
Judith Guitar, who wrote this beautiful. She not only enclosed $20, but she sent this beautiful card. Look at that! Look at that rainbow
gorgeous.
angel. Isn't that
Yeah.
gorgeous? And she wrote this nice thing. She says, the bell is for the question of the night. The $20 is donation toward the scholarship fund. Judith Guitar. So there, you guys. So that's from her. Beautiful thing. This is an earth angel. She says, your magic touch and gentle ways to lighten heart and brighten days, and all the good things that you do reflect the beauty inside of you. So that's beautiful. Thank you, Judith, for that. And Judith has always been a great supporter of ours, and we want to thank her very much for that. And you guys, that's just too cool for words, isn't it?
So,
now,
C. Wellwood, please visit gingercooklive.gallery. Let us know what you'd like to win. Or
questionnaire person.
Questionnaire person. How about typist? Chatter.
We need a term. Come on, help us come up a term. We can't be called.
Well, they didn't like being called the peanut gallery. I got yelled at for that. And I apologize. Please.
Peanut gallery is derogatory. It sounds like, though Howdy Doody, you have to remember Howdy. It's Howdy
No,
Doody.
I did not watch Howdy Doody.
You didn't?
No.
I'm just a little older than you. I watched
Just
Howdy
a touch.
Doody.
No.
No.
Captain Kangaroo was my man.
Well, I'm telling you what, Howdy Doody came on. He was the only thing on for kids at the time. There was nothing on. The TV was black and white, and there was a circle like this, and we all sat with our noses practically at the...
And didn't your mama say, get away, you're going to go blind?
Or
do you have to have a light on? Did you have that? You have to have a light
later on, it was don't sit too close to the TV set, and you had to have a light on, and there were all these rules. But back in the day before, I guess, they blinded them, because I don't know what they did, but, we were all, our nose was practically right up to the TV set. I'm talking about 2-3 years old, right up to the TV set.
Yeah. Hey, before we get too far, what's the correct answer for C. Wellwood? He's the guy that won the... Instead of using painter's tape, what should I be using? Pull out a roll and show us, please.
Yeah, you've got to be using artist tape.
You have some.
Yes,
you have 4 new rolls.
That's what you buy. It's called artist tape, you guys. It comes in different things. And the reason you buy it...
It doesn't stick.
It doesn't stick. It's not... Look here.
Whoa. Nothing.
I'm telling you, you buy artist tape. And I even have a video on that, how to use artist tape on YouTube. But you buy, in fact, the artist tape, people were very happy I said it, even though they certainly don't send me any artist tape. Don't you think they should? They should be sending me truckloads of this stuff. And incidentally, artist tape, if you have a tendency to be an art hoarder, not to say that you're hoarding in any other way, but sometimes you get a little hoardy with the art materials,
Yeah.
Tape ages.
Yes.
So if you get like 12 rolls because it was a super deal and you got a case of it, by the time you get
better
around
be
to
using it quickly.
Because the older it is, the stickier it gets. It gets stickier.
Hey, we would like to say a special thanks to Anna Marie for donating $5 to our worthy cause.
Well, thanks very much, you guys. That's awesome. We appreciate that. I mean, I feel like this bell seems more like one of those. This is donation time, you guys. I'm sorry. Sounds like the guy at Christmas, right? But anyway, thanks for the bell, Judith. Let me dry this. Right?
Are you going to dry it, or are you going to do the art critique of Andrew? Well, it's drying a little bit.
Well, let me have Andrew's thing. All right, let me have Andrew's thing. Yeah, there you go. All right, now Andrew sent in this painting, and do we have my original painting anywhere? Could you get that off the wall, please? That's on a
That's not a 6x8.
Yeah, it was. It's a 6x8.
Okay, I have 10,000 6x8s over there.
Can you find this one? I'm sorry. This is how prepared we are. This was Andrew's, and I took a black and white photograph of mine, and okay, that's his final one. You showed him the final, not the first one. You showed the wrong one.
Well, I can't find the first one.
Okay, well, never mind. You showed
I can't find
you showed the wrong Andrew one. That's the final. You didn't show the first one.
We'll do his.
All right, that's his final one, not his first one.
We'll do it tomorrow, though. I'll take that one off.
Well, take that one off because John's got it wrong. We'll show Andrew's tomorrow. Sorry, Andrew, but he's got it wrong. So
wait a minute, because we have Patty's.
Oh, good.
Oh, great. And that's sideways. All right, we're going to do hers tomorrow.
Hers tomorrow, too. Well, we promised Patty. All right.
We're going to do that one instead.
Yeah, that's what. Do you guys remember last night's video, right, with the tree? And this was, I love this. She added the rest in peace and added the little tombstone. Don't you think that was fun? And a good job on the tree, don't you think so? Here's my tree one. And she did a really good job on that. So I think that that's absolutely great. And who was that did that? What was her name?
That was Sonia?
Sonia, I think, right? Sonia did that. We always use just first names. So
she's a new member.
So brand new member, and she did that. And look how she got the shading on the correct side of the tree. Used the palette knife. Awesome job. Got the tree roots. Very nice. And one of the things I always tell you guys is we can teach you technique. We can't teach you a great idea. And I love the idea of the rest in peace, and it was kind of a joke because it was an old dead tree. Okay, that's
to go with
where
old
that
dead
came
artists.
from. Because of that old dead artists and old dead trees.
We
and
were
stuff
just on
like
a roll that night.
We were. All right, so now I'm going to dry
Now
this.
you're
all
going
right?
to dry. All right, here we go. Oh, and there she goes, off and drying, right in our ears. All right, sorry about that, guys. I thought I had them in there right. When we get them in, sometimes they come in right and sometimes they don't. Hey, I want to remind everybody our auction is still going on right now. And that will be on until, I think April 1st is the end of it. We have a couple paintings that everything has a bid on except for, I think, 3 of them, and Ginger will show those when she's done drying. But it's kind of fun. What we're doing, this is the first time we've done a auction like this. Our next one, I'm looking at some auction software that's going to make it more like an eBay auction. And so we're going to try to do that for the next round when we do the next series, which we hope to do fairly soon. And she's back. No, because I want you to show the paintings, the 3 over there that...
Oh yeah, these are the 3 that have not gotten bids yet, and this is too big a one. That's not the one, John. It was a smaller version of this. It was the little one of this. I'm not showing this one.
Then I really don't know where it is.
Well, okay, I don't know what to tell you.
Okay,
So
we're going to show 2 of them.
Show 2 of them.
I asked you if it was that
eagle?
one.
Well, it was that fright thing. It wasn't that one. All right, just don't show. The eagle, right? We love that. And and this whole little basin and picture is a video on YouTube. But this is the whole painting. We actually never showed you how to paint. But there's the entire.
So
painting.
that is a truly unique,
That's a really
one-of-a-kind.
kind of a one-of-a-kind, no lesson with it. We thought those were kind of neat. And the garden chair with the hat is the other one. Only it's a smaller version of that. That's not the larger one. Maybe we should just put the larger one up there then. Should we try? No, we have the smaller one. All right, so
we got. I shot a picture of it somewhere.
all right, so okay, so we've got a chalk. I want to talk to you about how to do this bird. All right. Now, one of the problems I had with the bird was that, in the original picture, in the original photo, he was facing the wrong way. Now, why wouldn't you want to do that? Because he takes your eye right out of the picture. So then I went into my program, which is Digital Painter, and I copied and pasted the bird and put him going this way. Okay?
It is the 8x10 that we have up for sale.
It was 8x10. Well, then we varnished the wrong one. Oh my gosh, look at that, you guys. There's the picture, 8x10.
Now, that one's been varnished. You got the first coat of varnish on that one.
Oh, I guess I did. Look at that. There's the 8x10.
A good thing I'm here watching you.
It is. I thought it was small. All right, so that's our garden chair. I can't believe nobody's bid on this yet. I think that's just precious.
I love that one.
I think it's really cute. Anyway.
Currently, let me make another point. I have updated the current prices on all the paintings. I've got their current bid prices on them right now.
You can see what they are now. If you
and
go
we're
over
going to
there,
try to update that.
Like every few days.
Yeah.
We'll try to update it
We're
so you
going to try
won't
to
get
update
confused.
it, more often to get a little bit more realistic. It's kind of hard.
We didn't
to
have any auction software. We
just came up with this one night and said, let's do this.
We didn't have any way to do it, so we're doing the best we can. Next time we'll have some sort of fancy thing so you always see what the bid is. But at this point we're going to update it every couple of days so you can see where you are. Okay.
Yeah. And I believe that it ends August 1st. Not August. April 1st. The bidding will be over, and the winner will be announced at that time.
Okay.
Last day of bidding is the 31st.
And then we'll update those the last week every day. All right, for you. We'll update those every day for you. We'll update the bids.
Okay, let's get back to our
now here's our bird. So we put him this way, but that didn't do it for me because he was I couldn't really tell what this bird was. So I found another photograph of a bird, tonight before I did it. Now you'll notice that he's got a little black on the tail. In this picture, he didn't have it. Now it may be covered by the flowers. And then the other thing was that how his bill, you didn't see it in this picture, but you see it more in this picture, how the bill kind of goes down like a kind of a hook nose, So sometimes when you're painting things, it doesn't hurt to get another reference photo, right? So now that and this is going to help me with the coloring too. A little bit more than I had it on this one didn't help me as much, okay? So now that I know the shape, and let's see, we're going to move this one out of the way because we've reversed him. All right, so let's just talk about the shape. Well, you've got it kind of an oval shape. We talked about that. And then you've got something that's going up like this. Now, his neck is almost straight down to the oval, all right? And then he's got a round head. So it's coming down around here like this. This goes this way. Then it comes up like this, kind of comes up like this, and then out to a tail. Here's the inside of his wing like this. And then he's got a bit of a tummy, all right? And then he's got a beak that's coming out like this and kind of like that. Seagull beak, like that. It's going to come out and like that. So basically, and then he's got some little footies that are kind of hidden by the flowers, okay? So let's see. So what do we know? We know this is like this. We know this comes like this. We know this is coming like this. And then here's the tail, okay? So that's basically what you're drawing in, okay? Good to know, right? That's the shape. All right, so then you don't have to put the bird in either. You could just decide, just a nice picture. It's very nice. We don't need a bird. And your picture would not be the least diminished if you didn't put the bird in. So I'm going to just say my bird's about 4 fingers, kind of like here to about here. It's about 4 fingers. So I'm going to come up here in my, right about where my flowers are, like this. Let's see, let's just lower him a little bit because that flower's in the way. Here's my head, like that. Okay, and he's got this little short neck and a big chest. It's coming this way. And his neck's coming down like this, and then here's a wing. And then kind of down like this. And there's his little feet coming down here like this on something. Kind of lowered him a little bit in this picture because this flower's in the way here, John. It's not dry enough to put him otherwise.
Oh, that's all right.
I have to lower him. I'd like him up here, but the flowers are so thick away to paint the bird now. So
interrupt us. We will
interrupting
resume.
So I'm going to come out like this, straight from him like this, and put his beak. There we go. And here's his chest. And then here's his tail like that. Here's a couple little feet like that. So again, I've lowered him a little bit, but then I'll put some flowers in here.
The whole drawing's going to be gone. At least you showed them on the blackboard. They got that.
Okay, I showed them on the blackboard?
Yeah.
Okay.
They can use that same thing. They'll see it there.
Okay. So I'm sorry about that, but that's just the way it goes here.
Yeah.
So there he is. Okay. Now, at this point, I think I'll just, since we're doing it anyway, I'll draw him. Okay. So I got to draw him.
Yep. Go. No, the secret word has not been said as of yet.
No, it hasn't been. But thank you for reminding me. You're right. We need to come into 2 secret words in here, don't we? We need 2 secret words in here. Volcano. Volcano.
Somebody wants to know who Sammy is.
Hey.
There he is.
All right, we're going to add some more flowers down here like this because we lowered the bird. Because I put the bird in, should have put the bird in sooner and put the flowers around me, but I didn't. So I've got a little lower in this picture than I did in the other one. It's not the end of the world.
No.
But it's a little hard to, these flowers are very textured at this point, and it's a little challenging to put the bird in to the textured flowers, right, like that. So I'm going to add a few more flowers like this. There we go. See? Pretty little, what did we say these were? We said these were hydrangeas, right?
Right.
Hydrangeas by giving them different food. You can get blue ones and stuff. They make blue hydrangeas. You don't have to put, I don't think I'd want blue in with blue water, okay? So now that I've dried the bird, I'm going to take a little bit of yellow and red, make a little orange beak here. Now his beak is coming straight out here like this and down, kind of hooks down, okay? Right, there it is, like that. And
oh, we've already zonked out.
so the how knocked out are we?
Let me just blank the screen for a second.
That
Bring up
was
the map and see.
color. And I'm going to say that the right under here, under his chest, there might be a little shadow on top of his head here. Say there's a little shadow color, a little bit lower here, and then let's put in a wing, like that. Let's just start the first part of a wing, because he's sort of roughed in. And you'll notice that one thing I always do is I always just pinch the brush. even with a brush like this. What I discovered with this brush was that I had the ability to paint really fine detail with a brush like this. I was shocked at the detail I could get with this. Okay, I want a little wing is coming this way and his tail. Then I'll just take a little burnt umber and add a little shadow to the wing. You know, this is Impressionism. You don't have to put in a perfect bird, even though he's a little closer. Let's put a little dark on his tail back here. Okay. And let me put my glasses on so I can really kind of see what I'm painting. I'm going to give him a little tiny eye right there. Now, I want his beak to show up. Remember, there's this rule in art, wherever there's a light, there's a dark. So let's see. Let's just blend that in a little bit better. Okay. So I need it to show up. So the first thing I need to do is to put wherever there's sort of a light thing, and I think I'll take a little white and yellow oxide, and I'll extend this one. I'll extend this little piece of the cliff out a little further, like that. Okay, that's a little bit darker than I want, a lighter. Darken that up a little bit. Okay, there's this piece of cliff that's coming this way. And then I want to make a dark green color, which is ultramarine blue and yellow, a little purple. I'm going to make a real dark green color, okay? Get a lot of this color here. Let's just wake this color up here. Dark green color, maybe a little phthalo. I want to really put some dark, in other words, I'm not really outlining him. You see that? But I'm putting in the dark green. Kind of reshape him like that, right? Reshaping him. And I want some dark green, kind of separate these flowers in a couple places. Like a little bit of dark green. Now let's get some yellow, some bright yellow. And let's come next to him like this, like right under where his beak is. Maybe we'll put some lighter yellow, just tap some of that in. Maybe up here on top of his head we'll tap some yellow. Like that. So let's just have some of the lighter green around him. That's sort of light. Okay, there you go. So you can kind of see that. Now, are we not focused? What's going on?
Zooming.
It's not zooming? Why isn't it zooming?
Shake those for a moment.
All right, so here's the top of his head now with more white. Okay. And remember, because you've got a round head like this, and then it comes back for his tail, like that. There you go.
Show that for a second.
So here's
the
our.
question is size of these. You get them the same size, so.
Yeah, I got them about the right size, right?
Yeah. They thought they should be smaller. I didn't think they should.
No, these are really, what I had to work with here. Okay, now I'm going to take a little bit of purple and white and brown, make a little shadow color. And I want to come back here on the wing a little bit more.
Sorry, I had to go remove the camera as I readjusted my zoomer.
Yeah, okay, well it's good. If you want to be able to see what I'm doing, it helps to be able to zoom in, doesn't it? Okay. Now, all right, so you can kind of see the birds in there now. And while he's drawing, we'll go back and paint something else, all right? So what do we know for sure? Well, we know for sure is that we want some more of these flowers out this way now. So we're just in here, just a little clumps of lighter ones. I'll come back in here with a little bit of the...
Yes, this is an 8x10 canvas.
This is an 8x10 canvas. See how I'm just painting this in here? Now, you want to keep rolling your brush, paint just on the tip and holding it straight up and down like this. The bottom of these flowers, as I explained, darker on the bottom. I think they come about this far. And I think I want another one right up, let's see, I want another lighter one right up here. I want something a little bit lighter up here like this. Okay, there we go. So those are pretty light here. I like this one. I like this. Or him like this. Tapping that in. Now, what happened here, this was interesting. We're going to take a white, just titanium white, and we're going to make some daisies. Now, can you believe, and you close up on me for this? Okay. I mean, haven't you ever peeled he loves me not, those kind of daisies? Okay, now what you want to do is pinch your brush, go right and have no water on it at all. Come in here like this. You can use the tiniest brush you've got, or you can use one like this. You're just doing some daisies. And I had too much water on the brush on this one because I had rinsed it. So that daisy isn't showing up right because it's, I'll have to go over that.
And the name of this brush again you're using? We have
the
new
name of
viewers.
this brush is a silver 1900 round Briston, Bristlon. Bristlon. Okay, so now we're going to come in here like this, and I'm going to put out some fresh white because mine's dried up. And what happens is when your paint dries, it doesn't. I'm going to put in the. Now I want you to see the difference here. Oh, you're going, that's interesting. Pinch the brush, pull it to a point. These are all facing this out way. This are all kind of, you've got some clumps of these facing this way. All right, just all like this. I'm not trying to paint anything too perfect on some of these. We're just suggesting now brushes with little spots of white. Some of these were just some of these we're actually going to paint the daisy petals in. All right, here's a little one. And you can roll the brush, pinch it and roll the brush to a point. Just put it on the tip and you've got some great control here. Just want you to see that. You've got some great control. All right. We'll pull some up this way too. Do you remember, did you ever make daisy chains when you were a kid, John?
Daisy? No. With no.
No daisy chains? You didn't remember making those?
Nope.
Oh, you missed out, man. That's for fun.
That was more of a girl thing.
Oh, I thought you said you played with the girls.
I did.
They didn't rope you into making daisy chains?
No, they did. We did jump roping. I was a good jump roper.
Okay, that was your thing?
In and out, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I always hung with the girls.
Okay.
I've always been a ladies' man, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
I know it's hard to believe.
I'm not saying it's hard to believe.
Well, you're over there giggling.
Well, I just think it's such a funny thing to say about oneself, but it's okay.
Well, that's what my dad always said.
Did your dad said he was a ladies' man?
No, he said, I'm a ladies' man. You just could be a ladies' man, son. Don't worry about it.
Just forget sports?
Forget sports. Go chase the girls.
Wow, and this was before any kind of stuff was available, too.
Yeah, any kind of stuff.
All right, so I'm going to come out here with a few on the outside. Remember, I'm just going to come out into the water here. And I want a few light ones out here. And the reason we're doing this is that we've got to get these pink flowers here. To get these.
Oh, now you started. What's a daisy chain? So you had international people that may not have daisies.
Well, what you did was you took the daisies and you know they have a. You could take a needle and thread and you sewed them together, and like made. Little things, crowns that went around in your hair, or you could take the other thing we used to use dandelions, and then using just the plant itself, kind of rope them all together. Okay.
In the old days.
Like King Arthur's time, that kind of stuff.
I got you.
Those old days.
Those
as opposed to, last year's old days. All right. So okay. So you see what we've got going from there, and we put in a few flowers, and I think I want a few in here. If I don't like, I can put in a few more. I'm just thinking maybe a couple little small ones right here, just like that. And look, this one kind of disappeared. Because you can't, if you don't have enough white on, they won't glaze over, all right? I think we had one right here by his feet. We didn't want to have to talk much about the feet. And everybody says, what is she talking about when she says, so there's our bird. You see, he's looking better all the time. And then out here, we're going to have some plants. Okay, so let me dry this. Any more wonderful questions?
No.
All right, I'm going to dry this then.
Yes, you may. All right, while she's drying that, I don't know if you guys have any other questions out there. I'm supposed to see a picture of me younger. My sister posted one of me on Facebook. Back in high school. My high school days. That was like yesterday, wasn't it? Remember all those fun times? Okay, we've had one secret word. Same thing. We'll have two secret words. And again, when we're done with the secret words are from the last 8. They're going to be from the last 8 episodes, and we're starting with the proposal video.
The proposal video, which was this one. This was the proposal video. That's the painting we're giving away.
That has
the first secret word in it. So everything since then has secret word. We've done one secret word tonight. We've got one more to go.
We do.
Yes, so we've done one secret right up. We're going to throw in a few bonus words for those of you who lost feed or who, just, love me but just don't want to watch all 8 videos or whatever it is. We'll throw in some bonus words. You just have to have 8. And just water and magenta, okay? Like this. Okay, so here we go. So water and magenta. And I've dried these. So now look what happens when I go over, let's see, a little bit more paint than that, just a tiny bit more. You could use glazing medium too, but because I'm going over the white, you see what's happening to the flowers? See how much brighter they are?
Because you have white first.
Because I had white first. Now this is one of the secrets, I had white first, and I'm just kind of staining this the way you would watercolor. See that? So they're just a very pale pink then, okay? As opposed to these back here. All right, this is a little glazing trick. And let's see, you don't want paint. You actually want to glaze it. So just make sure you have enough water to do that. We're just sort of staining these like that. I'm not even trying to be that careful. See, that's how we're getting these colored in. Like that. All right, there we go. Let's do these over here. These have to be dry, very dry, otherwise you'll just end up with a smeared flower, okay? All right, so then I've got, if those are my lighter flowers, then I can take a little Dazzling Purple and come back in the center of those and add a few of these are going to have the centers in them. Okay, like that. All right, so I mean not all of them, but we'll have a few. Maybe this one has a center, that one, this one, that one. These are kind of facing the other way, but maybe this one does. Okay, so I'll put a few centers in. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to make a light green color, and I'm all out of yellow, so we'll put more Cad Yellow Medium out. Make sure I have enough of that out, and I don't see any more ultramarine blue, so I think I used all that up, so I'll put a little more out of that color. Now remember, ultramarine blue, that's a red shade if you're buying Liquitex, is and yellow, Cad Yellow Medium, makes an army green, and phthalo blue makes more of an Irish Spring green. So we're going to take a combination of phthalo blue and ultramarine blue and a little yellow. So we want sort of a combination green here, these colors, these two colors mixed together. Okay, now that's still a light green here. I think I'm going to just tap this little flower out. And now I'm going to come around here like this, and I think I want some more yellow in that, lighten this up. So I'll pinch the brush, a little bit of yellow, and we're just going to come in here like this and suggest some leaves around here in our flowers. Don't be afraid to cross over a few. All right, and you're going to say, here's our darker green. Let's see, we've got any dark green like this? Always have some light and dark green, because we didn't bring that green all the way out here, all right, like this. We really needed to, but we didn't bring it out that far. Okay, then we'll come up with a light, maybe even put a little white with it, like this, and sort of lighten up some of these leaves, like this. And you can just do some little dabs of paint, like that. And you're saying that this little group of flowers, little daisy flowers, which is slightly different than that group, all right? Now, I want to say that kind of out here on the edge here, I'm going to come out maybe with some, so let's get something darker here. I'm going to just bring some flowers out like this. Let's see, pinch the brush, get it very thin. I'm going to come out like this. Maybe out this way. Let's see, put a little water on the brush and do that. Try that, see if we don't get a little bit better line. I'm just seeing what we can do with this round brush here. Okay, let's just come out like that.
Ginger's got a new toy. Ginger's got a new toy.
Look how small we can get these lines. Aren't you sort of interested? I mean, I think that's just amazing. And I'm going to come out here with some leaves like that, because that makes some kind of good leaves here, like that. This way, and then maybe out here I'll just have some no line to it. Okay, some dark leaves here, and let's just come up this way and say there's some leaves growing out like this into our water, like that. Okay, now there. Now let's take some green, a little bit of white, and lighten up one of these green colors. Let's say here's some lighter green on top of the leaf, like that. So there you go. The top part of the leaf's going to have a lighter green. Doop, doop, doop. Doop, doop, doop. But you got to have some sound effects there, right? Okay. That's nice. All right, so now what do we have? Back me up, please. Back up, please.
Yes,
Zoom
ma'am.
out.
I'm typing.
I think the
Sorry.
term is zoom out, darling.
I'm zooming out, boss.
Okay, now how absolutely cool is this? Don't you think this is cool?
I'm loving
So,
it.
so I'm going to come up here with a little bit. Remember, because the old adage, wherever there's a light, there's a dark.
That's a good adage.
I want to come under this bird's tail, like this, and make the cliff down here a little bit more like this, so he shows up. See? There. So now he's showing up a little bit more, and he's showing up because we put some dark next to him, right? This is one of those little tricks you got to do. And I think that in the other picture I had of the bird, he had almost he had a little dark on his tail right here, and we can add a little bit of dark to his wing here. Not too much, but we're just going to add a little bit more dark in it than the other picture had, like that, just a touch to give him a little bit more little eye here. Just a few little strokes. Don't worry about making it exact. This is impressionistic painting. So what do we know we want to have? We know that we want, let's just start with our angle brushes. What we want is a little bit of green color and an angle brush. Let's see, do I have any spray? Where's my sprayer? Sprayer.
We had it earlier because you sprayed the canvas.
Oh yeah, I did I?
That's going to be our next game.
What?
What did Ginger lose in this session?
I know. Ha! Ah! I found it. All right, so let's just give the paint a quick mist, because I've got a fan blowing on me that's drying the paint. It's looking nice though, isn't it, so far? Don't you guys think so?
I think it's looking great.
I think this is looking great. Let me just show you where we are with this, right? I think it's looking pretty good, don't you? So now what we have to do is we're going to take a little bit of green, a little bit of brown.
Sharon would like to say, Ginger, thank you for all she has taught me.
Well, thank you.
No,
Thanks,
she's thanking
Sharon.
you. You should say,
well,
you're welcome.
Thanks, Sharon, for saying that. Thank you very much. Now I put a little green there. Now we're going with a little white underneath that. I'm going to say that there's a little bit of white underneath our bulwark here. Okay, now I don't want any pink in that white. Where's my new white? There. Okay, I'm going to say there's a little bit of white here, which I'll glaze back over. Okay, and now, okay, that's too much, so let's just erase some of that, like that. All right, there's a little white back there, and I need a few more. Here's the zinc white, and then this is where this is helpful, or the mixing white. I need a little bit more something in the middle here. This is kind of plain, so while we don't want it too busy, we might just take just some plain zinc white or mixing white and add just some highlights into this water, just like that. Just keep it level. If you're going to do any of this, keep it level, okay, like that. There you go. And then if you get it too much, just wipe it off your brush. You don't want a lot of big streaks. You want to keep this very subtle. And again, if you get too much, you can erase it because this is dried. It's easy enough to pull that off and just erase it. If you get too much, just take it off. Dry in between. Your drying is like a save as. Now, as long as I'm into that mixing white, I'm going to come over here and thin it out like this. Now I'm going to come up here on this this hill right back here, and I'm going to just say this part of the hill is kind of faded off into the distance, and just put this, like that. A little bit of this. Let's just make this part disappear a little bit, out of focus. See that? So now that brings your picture forward. Okay, so that's kind of cool. And let's see what we got here, and then we have any kind of blue here. A little bit of white here, a little bit of blue. Okay, I might take a little bit of blue here, come under this and trim that out. There we go. And here, I have an idea. Let's take a little bit of the blue, ultramarine blue, come this way next to this flower here like that and bring a little bit of dark out this way. There we go. There, like that. Because what's going to happen is that these flowers, because we're going to lighten them up a bit, so that'll show up. And then down here, if you haven't finished your picture, let's make a little turquoise color here, a little bit of white, phthalo blue, and yellow. If you haven't finished your picture, down here is a good place to suggest some turquoise color, because we're going to put some orange flowers here pretty quick. So I might put a little bit of turquoise in here, just a little bit of lighter color right down here toward the bottom. Might have been doing good to do this before I put in these green things, but this still works, okay? So see how I kind of lighten that up here? And rocking chair. Rocking chair. Now I'm going to come along here with the little bit of white and break this up. There, like that. So you could always go back and touch your water up a little. You shouldn't have to do too much. Touch that up. Okay, so this has all had a chance to do its thing. I like our bird, okay? And tiny brush. Somebody said, you know, the 000s are good brushes. You know, everybody makes a pretty good 000. Jerry says too. I've never found them to last very long. But that being said, I want to come up here with a tiny brush and put a few windows in the houses in the front. Just a few little dots in dark brown, like that. Just not every window, you guys. Just maybe a door somewhere. I wouldn't do those over there, but just you know, it's not a terrible idea. Okay, something like that. Just you can add a tiny bit of detail back here, but nothing too crazy. Okay, just suggest something. All right, that's there. That's your thing back there, and then. As long as you're into that tiny little thing, come up here and see, this is already splitting. This brush is already splitting. I don't know how long I've had it, but it doesn't want to stay. It does. I'll roll it to a point, but it doesn't want to stay there. And I'm going to say just separate the center of this like that, his beak. And I'm going to take some yellow and cad red medium, and I'm going to make a little bit more beak because when I first put it in, it didn't really show that much. So I'm going to come out here like that, give him a little beak. Bring it down. Just kind of exaggerate his beak a tiny bit. And I'll come under it with green. You know, you can come under it with green to get the shape. If you're not getting the shape, then you can come on the outside with the color and get the shape too. That's another little trick. You don't have to do that. All right, so let's put in some red flowers. Some cad red medium. Let's put a few little in here like that, just right on top of our water like this. I know these are different kind of flowers. Now one thing, you can still do the same trick. You can see how these don't show up. So if you want your flowers to show up, come out here with white ones first. Okay, and that would be titanium, right? Come out here with some white flowers first. And then we'll dry them. And any other great questions, John, before we finish this up? Because we're almost done here.
I'm going to have to say no.
Okay.
But we have a comment. Ginger, you're amazing to think of fixing the bird's beak.
Well, he was a little off, right?
Yeah,
and
was.
you know, he's kind of close to us, so I had to sort of fix it, right?
Yep, save the bird.
Just, you know what I mean? So you see where I've done some little white ones. This is just one of the tricks. If you want a flower to show up, paint it white first. Okay, now even though we're not going to glaze it, all right, so we're just going to say that. Now while that's drying, let's take a little bit of yellow and kind of make a really light green. And let's just tap a little bit of this yellow in here like this, somewhere. Just a little bit of it. We don't need much, but just maybe up here a little bit like that. Maybe coming over here. Just something, just a little bit of the yellow in here. Don't get it too up there. Don't get too much of this, but you could come. This is probably the wrong brush to do this with. Probably want to go back to that Brighton. Where would I put that? Yeah, this one. To do that. I like this because you can do this very delicate work like this, and then still come back with get it harder and do something fatter. It's much easier to do that there. Okay. Now, all right, so those are those. Let me just dry this real quick and we'll finish up. And I'm telling you what, I think this is a cool painting. Don't you guys think so?
You want to see the brush one more time that you're using?
All right, this
Can
is
you
a
just hold it under there? Oops, here.
This
Let me
is-
zoom in on it right there.
number 4, Silver Bright Bristlon, Bristlon, 1900 round.
Number 4.
Number 4.
There you go. So that's the brush. And then the
That's
other
the brush,
question
and
is,
I gotta. Cinnamon found this, and it's made by the same company that makes my favorite, the Silver Company. These are the Ruby Satins, which I absolutely love. The Silver Brush Satin Company. I love these Ruby Satin brushes, but apparently these blue ones are the next step up from this, and I didn't even know there was a step up from this. I've been using this line of brushes for 30 years. Okay?
and what is your favorite brand of canvas pad?
Well, the only brand, the problem is that Jerry's is the only one that makes those canvas pads.
That
Those,
size.
you know, that size, the 6x8, you know,
Yeah,
where it's real
Frederick's makes
canvas.
bigger ones.
Yeah, it makes bigger ones. The thing of it is I don't want paper, I don't want plastic, I want real canvas. And I mean, you could buy a roll of canvas, you know, they sell it by the yard. You can buy a yard of canvas and cut it up too, you know. I don't know, I guess you'd have to do the math and see if it was worth your time. But those little canvas pads are so nice because you can just tear off a sheet and you do these small pictures, right? I mean, I tell you, it's a great thing. We're that little thing. Like last night, I mean, this is real canvas, and now I've designed a picture. Now, if I decide to make this bigger, I know all kinds of things that I might add or tack, but I've got the basics of this. Really
You sketch
fun.
it out. That's your sketch.
And incidentally, speaking of basics, you know, one of the things that one woman said, where do I start with acrylics? And one of the things we want to mention is that this week's acrylic lesson on Back to Basics on gingercooklive.gallery are these 2 cherries in the still life, okay? That's going to be this Thursday's release. Some probably closer to Saturday. We'll release that. We do one once a week for our members. At these 2 cherries, it goes with our kitchen series that we're doing, and that's a really cool painting. And I want to show you the difference between a varnish piece and one that's not. And the varnish, this is why you want to varnish. We talked about that last night. Why you want to varnish your pieces, because the varnish pops the color and also preserves your canvas. And that's not the spray varnish. That is your brush on Liquitex varnish in medium. So just saying.
Just
Why you
saying.
want to do that, okay? You think this is dry? Probably has.
What is Ginger's recommendation for the best and easiest way to put a poem onto your painting, making it look beautiful when your handwriting sucks?
A
And that's
poem
for-
onto the painting. Oh, I got the best idea for that.
What is it?
You're going to decoupage it on.
Oh, yeah.
You're going to decoupage it on. So what you're going to do, darlings, all right, do you see this stuff?
Yeah.
That's the gloss, medium, and varnish.
Yep.
So what you're going to do is you're going to write the poem out on a piece of just inkjet paper, you know, not the fancy paper, with your computer. Find a nice font, do the poem.
Okay.
Really nice font.
All right.
Black, whatever color you want.
Okay.
And you're on a piece of typing paper.
I'm with you so far.
And then you brush a layer of this over, let it dry, and then you brush a layer of this over it.
But don't you have the white paper still sitting there?
Yes, the white paper's still sitting there. You're just doing it on the paper now. Track with me.
Track with you. Okay,
All
I'm
right.
tracking with you.
Now, you do this every hour for like 10, 12 coats, or every few hours. When you come around, come back, give it another coat. Okay?
Okay.
Now,
I know where you're going.
Then what you do is you go soak that in warm water, and the paper dissolves, and all that's left is the black ink stuck to this clear varnish. And then you take the varnish and then you kind of glue it to your canvas, and all you see is the blank ink.
So you can
black
just
ink.
varnish it onto that, right?
Uh-huh. You use the same stuff.
Oh,
and
we got to
varnish
do
it on.
that. That just sounds like too much fun.
Yeah, that's how you do it. You can do it with pictures, all kinds of. It's called decoupage. And some people say you could skip all those coats and just do it with a coat of, say, like a couple coats of the thin gel, gel medium. But I've never done it with that. I know it works with this. Okay? So the paper dissolves basically, and then all you're left with is the ink is stuck to the back of that clear coat of varnish that you
That
did.
is just so cool. I want to do it.
Okay, that's what you do. All right, so bear with me here. Let's
Bear with me.
we're gonna finish this up.
Would that be a
because I know, and
Sammy
I'm
bear
sorry,
with you?
I'm sorry this is taking so long, but you know
Oh, look,
what?
5 more minutes. You're going to be here for 2 hours.
I'm so
And
sorry.
we still have 285 people that are
Gosh,
staking
all right,
with
so
you.
I'm going to come out of here. This is called Cad Red Light. And I'm just going to come over the red, over the white with my brush. You want to zoom in?
Oh, so demean. I'm trying to read.
Okay, you can read some comments. All right, you're going to come over that like that. I'm just going to take it right out of the tube. I'm not even going to put any
No
on the
mixing.
canvas.
So a lot of times you're saying the colors are flower colors, right?
Yeah, this, you can, flowers are some of the few plants things you can put right out of the tube, right? That's why I say you can't have enough different reds or, all right, so we're going to say that there's some of these orange flowers, and then we'll make up a few in here like this. They won't be as bright because they're back in this group, see? We'll just put a few here. Maybe they need 2 coats to show up.
Brenda
Okay.
would like to know, do you think that everyone should start learning to paint with a still life?
I think what you have to do to start learning to paint is understand how your brushes work. So,
Yep.
and the reason that most art schools teach still lifes is because those are all the tricks you need to know to make your brushes work. So that means, because you don't start portraits till you can do a good still life. Okay, that kind of thing. All right, so now we've got that. Now here's some Cad Red Medium. All right, that's our darker color. So let's put a little darker at the base. See, like that. See how that's going to pop those up? See, and we're just using the tips of the base of these. We're going to make a little darker, like that. So there's these little colors.
So,
And I like the orange next to the turquoise because on your color wheel, which I don't see, I usually have color wheels out here. So
Yeah,
where's the
you
color
do.
wheel today? Who set my equipment up? It must have been you.
it was
I
the
don't
bear. I had nothing to do with
I
it.
see no color wheels here. Why is that, John? I don't get that. Okay, whatever. But on
Well, just trust us. It's opposite.
opposite, turquoise is opposite. So that's
Whip
kinda
out your
pretty.
own color wheel. Everybody has a color wheel.
So look at your color wheel, and you'll notice the turquoise is opposite orange. Now let's take phthalo blue and yellow, right, like that, and make it and a little bit of white, and let's make a bright color like
By the time I
this.
try to get over there.
And then let's just add some bright green leaves here, like that. Just in a few places like that, some bright green leaves, and maybe even something brighter than that. In a couple places, let's go put a little yellow, like that, a few little dots of yellow.
Here's a question you're going to enjoy because we kind of talked about it this afternoon when you designed it. Sue Ellen would like to know, would you, if you wanted to fade away the little town that's in the background, would you use the zinc, or what would you do? Or would that be too much, or what would you do?
Well, zooming back out. So our little town is pretty much faded, I think. But if I wanted to fade it even more, what I would do is put a glaze of raw umber over it, and I'll show you what that would look like, all right? Anybody want to see what that would look like?
A show of hands.
Okay. All right, so here's raw umber. There's a little bit of raw umber. At this point in my deal, all right, I would put a little raw umber, and I would take clean water, if I have any, okay? A little bit of raw umber and water, like that. Now, I might come back here like this. Now look what happened with the raw umber. It's a very glazing like those pink flowers. See, that's too much. See, what happened to the paint here? Well, let me get a different brush. Okay, let's start again with a clean brush because we didn't have a clean brush here. Let's start here with water and raw umber. Okay, let's try it again because we didn't have any. That didn't work because we didn't have that. There was some paint on there. All right, so here's some raw umber, like that. And you just come over that with some raw umber and push the white back like that. And that would fade out
So
the
it's really
town.
it's not creating a fog, because you really don't want to fog it.
No, you just want these less bright. Now for me personally, what I'm going to do instead of that, I'm going to go in here and I'm going to put some white bits in a few places and bring the town forward a little bit, some of the front ones. With a little bit of white. See, I'm going to bring those forward. Put a little white here on my railing, right like that. Okay. And let's see, how did I get this up there? Oh, that's just a fleck of something. Okay. And then what I will do, where's that brighten brush? Okay. I will finish this off by taking some white on the tip of this and coming back on top of my flowers, which have had a chance to dry. And in a few little dots here like this on my hydrangeas, I will lighten up pure white because it's dry. Those flowers, like right here, I'll just define a few like that, particularly where they're next to that dark wall. So if I bring my flowers forward, all right, you see if I bring my flowers forward, what that does is it pushes the town back automatically. Does that make sense? Okay. So there we go. Just bring those forward like that. Okay, so you can overdo it, but that's kind of it. And then I'm just going to go ahead and find the white, put my glasses on, and make sure I have the top of the bird's head, well painted in here like that. There you go. So here's our bird, and let's have a little bit of white on the tail like that. Little tail coming out like that. There's our little seagull. I suppose you could put a little seagull flying right here if you wanted to. We talked about whether that would be a good thing to do or not. Here's our first one. I think. Do I have more flowers on the first one? I may have. I may have put a few more flowers on the first one I did on this one. Check, and I kind of like those flowers. I might add just a couple more here, right? Let's just put another group right here. Just takes a second. You can kind of look at that and see, do I want any more? What would would that help? And then you come back with a little white on the top. It's an easy enough thing to add another flower. You can always throw another one in if you think you didn't get enough in there, right? So that's easy enough to do. It's interesting that these are more purple and those are more pink. And I'm not sure. I think I had a bit of red with those too. And then also I want to have a few little bits of light green, just in a couple places. A few little dots of light green in here, in these flowers. Okay. There's something like that. And then again, that brought them forward. So I'd say we could stop there. I think this is let's see, there's some water here I don't want. So I'd say we could stop there and call this a painting, you guys. I think that's kind of a fun thing. I hope you liked it. Let's take a little yellow and orange.
Yeah, another half hour to go, folks. You just said we're going to stop.
Hour, but I just want to say what would happen if, all right, let's take some white with that. Let's make a sort of a peach color, okay, like that.
Good peach color.
And then, look, maybe you want to lighten up another part of this, any of these flowers. You want to add sort of some peach oranges in here too. Don't get too many colors going in here, but you could add a few more if you wanted to. You could add some in here like that. I'm just saying, that's not the end of the world. So, I mean, you could put a few more flowers in like that, and some darker ones.
Cindy Lou would like to know if that new brush would be good for making the clouds that you do.
No, I wouldn't use it for that. No,
too soft
it wouldn't
for
be a
that,
good cloud brush. It really wouldn't. This is what this brush does. Where's one of those tablets, John?
Not near you.
Tablet? Where's my tablet? I'll just show you real quick what it does. I have one right here. Never mind, got one. Okay, let's just talk. Everybody wants to know. Zoom back out and show everybody the painting. I'm going to show you what this. I'll kind of show you what I think this brush does. All right. Okay. Does that sound like a reasonable thing? Real quick at the end. Some of you know you've got to go. We thank you for hanging in there that long. We did give you 2 secret words. We hope you had fun with our trivia game, which we think we'll play those out and stuff. Okay. Now, where'd the sandpaper go? All right, so we're going to sand this real quick to make it life a little simpler.
Yes, you do sand the little guys too.
Yeah, well,
There's
sand your canvases. The brushes don't wear out, right? Here,
It's a lot smoother.
This paper, let's throw that on the floor, because that's what I do with stuff I don't like. And throw that on the floor. Where's some paper here? Well, here, good. Now, here's the brush. Where'd the brush go? Well, did we throw everything on the floor? Where'd the brush go? Here it is. It's blue. Well, this is going to be, all right, so it's blue. So what does this brush do? Let's compare it. So, all right, so I've got some red paint, and I want to do a thin line like this, and I'm going to tip it up like this to the point, and then thin. Now, how thin a line can I do? Let's make sure I've got this, the paint's woken up. Okay, and I pull it to a point like that. Like this. All right, you guys, that's pretty good, don't you think so? Because I haven't found a pointy brush that will do this at all. Look how fat this one is. All right, so if I was making, now I'm straight up and down with this and just using the tip and pinching it. Now, of course, this is the first day I've ever used this, so I know it's a new toy, but look, that's pretty thin. Are you zooming in on that? That is very thin. conversely, I can do this, and then conversely I can do this. So if I had...
That's a lot of conversely's.
There's a lot of conversely's here, which is not a secret word, but I'm just saying that there's a... Look, I mean, let's see, where's that water thing? Ah, no water in it, but here. You always should have a little water in your stuff. Have a little tiny thing here with a teeny bit of water so that you can access it like that, see? So then you don't dive the whole brush in, just put the tip in like that. Now, all right, so I'm doing this, thin, thin, thick, thin, thin, thin. That's lovely. Twisting it. I'm going to wet it, and that's because your paint dries in the brush. Pinch it out. Come back here like this. Let's do it again. All right, so you guys, you have to admit, and it's stiff enough where it's going to do that with the little tiny branches, and I'm barely touching it, but that works. Now let's take a ruby satin silver brush and show you what that does. So here's a little, angle, 3/8 angle.
3/8, okay.
So here's my 3/8 angle.
It looks finer.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm not throwing these out, right? My question is, do these guys make one of these kind of brushes? I don't know. I'm going to find out. Do they make a little angle brush like this? I know. Is it better than this one? Because I'm telling you what, I love this one. See?
That's the go-to
Your brush should be able to do this. You go from thick to thin. And why we like, someone says, why do you like the silver line of brushes? It's because they're designed for acrylic paint. They get their filaments in Japan. Someone researched all this and gave me the whole spiel. I just always knew I liked them. But the one thing I'll tell you about my daughter is that she researches everything. When she was into jewelry making, which really wasn't one of her fortes, sorry, Cinnamon, it's really, I've got a ring that she made. It looked like the Flintstones had made it. It's so funny. And she, but she studied everything. She knows everything there is to know about gemstones and stuff now because of that. And she really researched those brushes and how they made them. And she knows a lot. And so the filaments are what allows them. I just kind of, I really don't care how the car works. I just want to know the ignition turns on. And I know a Ferrari kind of runs better than maybe a Volkswagen, I've heard. I only have the Volkswagen, but I'm just saying, And these are sort of the Ferraris of the brushes, right? These are really good. And I mean, a brush like this is like $7. It's not that much money. It's not even a McDonald's hamburger, really, with stuff.
When was the last time you had a McDonald's hamburger?
Well, I don't eat them anymore, but are they more than that now?
I have no idea. I haven't been to McDonald's in like 40 years.
Okay, but I'm just saying, right? Now, look, that's what this brush does. And who wouldn't want this brush, these little angle brushes? And these are 3/8 inch, half inch. Those, if you only could afford 2 brushes for detail work, I'd still get these ruby satin silver, maybe a 1/4 inch and a 3/8 inch. And if you're the last of the big spenders, get a half inch. You can go to thebrushguys.com, use my full name, Ginger Cook,
Yes,
no
one
space,
word.
all one word, and you can get a 5% discount, okay? Now, and you can shop all over their site and still come into checkout. And you go to the teacher's page and then find Ginger Cook. You also find Cinnamon's page there too. And I think she has these bright brushes listed, okay, which she does. But again, she has a couple of those. But I'm saying you can shop all over their website. They have all the brands, and you don't have to just get those brands to get the deals. And I really appreciate those guys. They're great. So look, see. I mean, this is still pretty good, John.
Yeah.
Now look, see, I'm doing something very similar to the...
You just can't get quite as fine, but
not quite as fine, but
close.
look how much bigger the brush is.
Yeah.
Right? So I didn't buy one of those too. This is a teeny little brush. I didn't buy a little one of these. So for brushes, you're painting along, and you want to do a few little trees, little tree limbs. I mean, this is pretty good. So remember, the harder you push on a brush, the fatter the line, and if you lift up the pressure, the thinner the line. So if your brush can't do this, it's time to find another one. Okay? Life's, hard enough. All right, that's could almost be a painting. So, almost. All right, so I think that's it for the night. Tomorrow night, we're going to talk a little bit about, we're going to paint something else. I don't know what we're going to paint. I haven't designed it yet. I always wait till the last minute. That's how I did my homework when I was a kid, too. But what I know I'm going to talk about is picture patterns and focal points. And then we can talk about that.
Picture patterns and focal points. Can you put our picture out there tonight, please?
Yeah, can I do that? This is the picture of tonight. And let's just leave that up. Okay, here it is. Here's our picture for tonight.
Thank you very much.
And could I sign my name with this? This little tiny brush right here. Could I sign my name?
Oh. Better than the one you did this afternoon. Look at that.
All right,
You need to go
you've got
back
to
for
admit that
refill.
was pretty good, right?
Yeah.
Then I always put the red slash through it. Yeah, that's a good brush. No question about it. No question about it. And I think we had fun with I like our bird. Though I'm not sure that we wouldn't have fun with the bird. These are all too much in a row. If you sent me this, I'd tell you to put this, so that you just didn't have one.
And didn't I say it'd be another half hour when you said
it's
we
not
were
a half
done?
hour. I'm just saying, if I saw
No,
this,
it
if you
hasn't been a
sent
half
this to
hour.
me,
No.
I would tell you
You're
to
fine.
do that, right?
Hey, we still have 263 people out there. Apparently, they're not.
I'm sorry,
they're
you
not
guys,
giving
but
up.
I mean, I would just tell you that. If you did that, I would tell you to kind of change that a little bit, right? And
Oh, what's going to be
and
the
don't
release
put
this
anything
week?
white
Oh, it's the
right
cherries.
here.
The
Huh?
cherries are the release this week.
Yeah, the cherries are the release this week. Those beautiful cherries for the gingercooklive.gallery.
They were earlier in the show. You have to back it up. Rewind.
Where is it? They're right here. This was the release. And incidentally, if you want the actual painting for this was on Paint My Photo. If you go to Paint My Photo, follow me, Ginger Cook, on Paint My Photo. You can go to my gallery. You can find it. Then there's a little extra link that takes you right to the photograph, okay? If you want the actual
And you do
photograph.
have to be a member of them to get to that, so it's
Yeah,
free.
but it's
They
free.
it's no big deal.
But you got to be a member of Paint My Photo to get to that. So one of those free websites that photographers allow us to use their paintings. It's really nice. Not their, So anyway, here's our cherries here's the one that's been varnished. Here's our cherries. That's the weekly for gingercooklive.gallery. That's our weekly release. The books and the coffee were coffee break was this week.
This week, yeah.
Okay, so it'll be fun. This is part of our kitchen series.
Kitchen series.
And John, do you have your painting right there? I want to just mention that. Did you guys watch our Raz show that we did with Sunday, where Reality Art Studio, and we were teaching John to paint for a couple hours, just like a private lesson. And I want to mention that the background, here's John's picture, and the background he learned to do is the same background we're doing on these cherries. All right. See the background? This is John's painting. Didn't he do good? This is mine. And we did that together. And we had do you have the one that the lady did the spoon? We'll show you that. We got another member who did a really good one with the spoon and everything. We'll show you that tomorrow night, her painting. And those were fun. So thanks for watching, you guys. We always appreciate it. Help spread the word about us. Your shares and likes help our paintings to be seen on YouTube. There's a lot of noise up here, traffic, and so you help us, and we appreciate it very much. Thank you.
I like the way you say that. A lot of noise and traffic. Good night, all. Again, we'll be back tomorrow night. Another exciting episode of Ginger Cook Live. Not positive what we'll be doing, but we'll be here and we'll educate you. Sammy, buddy, cue up the sound and let's roll out.
Night, Sammy. Night, John.
Night, Jan. Night, Sammy.
Night, who?
John.
You
That's
can't
what you
say
said.
good night to yourself.
I can't say goodnight to myself?
Sorry.
Oh, night, Ginger.